Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
Athletics,
Fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
this is our home.
we embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
All right, we are back live from Heritage High School, home of the Generals, and just as I say that, everybody rises and we're getting ready probably for an invocation and perhaps the national anthem, so we may be sending it back to the studio rather quickly. Well, actually, let's see if we can pick up the national anthem from our crowd mic. Let's check that out. Well, I sure hope that came in loud and clear at home because the Heritage Generals Marching Band did a fantastic job with our national anthem this evening.
They sure did, Matt. Sizable band here at this 4A institution, and a lovely night for football is about to get started.
You are not kidding, man. It is going to be just an absolutely perfect night. We are getting ready for the fourth game of the season for the Darlington Tigers coming into the evening, 2-1 on the season. Still have, including this game, 3 more games to go until they get into region play. It's an unusual situation with a 5-team region this year in which they're going to play 4 region games. And so basically, you know, the math's pretty easy on that. You win 1 region game and you are in the playoffs. Now, the other end of that is your goal is not just to make the playoffs, especially with a situation like you have with the Darlington Tigers. They're just a team that over the years, you just kind of expect that's going to be the case. So what you're looking at, first goal, obviously, to get in the playoffs, but you want to win enough games to where at the very least you grab one of those couple of top spots so you can get home field advantage. And obviously the main goal is you'd love to see your team win the region.
Yeah, and you heard Tommy, if you were with us on the radio, talk about how he feels like they're building the right depth here in these games leading up to region play to prepare to be competitive in the region and grab one of those top seeds. And if you're a Darlington fan, you should expect them to compete for that region.
I certainly would, and then we'll just have to see what happens. But again, a few more weeks until we get to that point. But I want to talk a little bit more about the teams here tonight. Darlington so far this season has averaged 34 points, and one of the things that you heard Tommy talk about in that interview is that they feel very confident with their offense this year in terms of being able to run the ball, throw the ball. They're trying to have as much balance as possible. But again, Ian, one of the things that we've certainly seen with this team is the backbone appears to be the running game. They've got to be able to establish the run, and they don't throw it a tremendous amount, but when they do, it has been very effective for them in these first few games.
Yeah, they set up the pass with the run, and Harrison Allen has been a rock up the middle, running between the tackles, and Patrick Shelley is really good on the design runs, but he's also great when the play breaks down. He's been really good about staying in the pocket, going through his progressions, and then running when it's a last resort and making some great plays out of what seemed to be negative plays. So it's been exciting to watch this offense. They've got great receivers that play fundamentally sound out there on the edge, and that's good for Shelley because he has guys he can depend on when he delivers the ball.
And Ian, to talk a little bit about the Heritage Generals, E.K. Slaughter's been their head coach since 2014, and this was a program that was really having a hard time getting off the mat and getting things going, building a foundation for this team. And this is his 7th season at the helm. His record is 42-27. They've won about 61% of their games since he's been the coach. And you could see the difference in the competitiveness of the team in his first season. The year before he got there, they won only 1 game, and then his first season, they won 5 games, and they've made the playoffs the last 4 seasons in a row, and they won 8 games last year. So you can really see how this program is building and how much they put into this program trying to have it be successful. So even though they fell pretty hard against Christian Heritage last week, there's no question that the Darlington Tigers come into the game, prepared and respecting the opponent, especially one that's 3-1 and has made some headlines like Heritage has so far this season.
Yeah, you can't write them off just because they lost last week. They lost to a good team and things went wrong. Bear Bryant used to say, I don't like passing because only 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad. And Heritage throws the ball around. Last week, those 2 bad things happened a lot for them, and it cost them a game, and they lost by a bunch of points. I don't expect them to repeat that performance this week. They're going to be dialed in and ready, and Darlington needs to be in that same frame of mind if they want to get the W here tonight.
Well, it should be a great night of football. We have time to step out for a quick 2.5 minute break. We'll come back for kickoff here from Heritage High School in Ringgold, Georgia. It's your Darlington Tigers on the road against the Heritage Generals when we come back on WLAQ. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Yes, indeed we do. And back from Ringgold, I'm Matt Davis with play-by-play color commentary tonight provided by Ian Griffin. And we are just about ready for toe to meet leather. We are going to see this Heritage Generals offense out on the field to begin this game. So Darlington will be kicking off momentarily, and we'll get ready for the fourth game of the season, Ian.
Yeah, the defense is going to be able to come out and set the tone here, Matt, and see how they perform against this high-octane passing offense of the Heritage Generals.
Appreciate you listening to the game tonight, whether you're listening on the radio or the live video stream. It is just exciting, as always, to get to be here and broadcast the games for you. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and hopefully at the end of the night we'll have the opportunity to celebrate another Darlington Tigers win. But let's see what happens. It's going to be a tough test. Brinson Sumner has the ball teed up at the 40. We're just about to be underway, and you have Darlington in their road white uniforms, all white, got the purple numbers and letters and whatnot, and we are ready to roll. Here is toe meeting leather. We are underway, end over end. That's going to float to about the 8. That's where it's going to be brought out by a general. He's going to be tripped up at about the 20-yard line, maybe a little bit past that. And so pretty okay field position as we get ready to start this game for the Generals.
Yeah, not the usual out of the back of the end zone kick from Sumner, but it had good hang time, fielded around the 8, and the result was about the same. The Generals got an extra 4 yards, starting at their own 24.
Now let's go ahead and talk about a disadvantage we're at tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. The scoreboard is not currently functioning, and so we're not going to be able to keep up with how much time's left, those sorts of things, but we certainly will be able to pass you the score. Hopefully they'll have that resolved at some point early in this game, but we'll see what happens.
Heritage, that's a first.
It is a first. Never had that happen. Heritage lines up. Their quarterback will line him up in shotgun. He's going to hand it off on the first play. They try to go left tackle, nothing there. Bounces back the other way, and he's greeted by a host of Darlington Tigers, and a good defensive play there for the Tigers to start this game off.
Well, he was greeted first by Davis Watson and slipped away only to meet Luke Lewis in the backfield, and then the rest of the Tigers came to the party, and that's a 3-yard loss on first down. Not a good start for the Generals.
So now they're going to be backed up to their own 21-yard line. The ball carrier was Paxton McCrary. The quarterback for this Heritage Generals team is Nick Hansen. He was 17 of 35 passing in their last game against Christian Heritage, which was last week, a loss in which I'll give you the score for in just a moment. Shotgun formation, 4-wide set. The lone back again is McCrary. There's the snap, going to drop back about 5 steps. He's got company, ball comes loose, and it looks like the Tigers have picked up a fumble, so a turnover right out of the gate.
And I tell you what, Matt, it was the same combo as the first down play. Davis Watson comes through on the backside and strips the ball from the quarterback, and Luke Lewis falls on the fumble. So the Darlington Tigers get a huge turnover and set their offense up at the 12-yard line to start their first offensive possession of the night.
So the Darlington Tigers, as you mentioned, they're going to start out in the red zone, threatening to score here right away. And so, already starting to get that taste out of their mouth from the way the game ended last week. Shotgun formation. Shelley is going to hand it to Allen, who tries to run up the middle, picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards on first down.
Yeah, good defensive effort there by the Generals as they got good penetration and shut that run down.
So Darlington will go back to the drawing board here for 2nd down and 9. The ball is on the 11-yard line. They started at the 12, picked up a yard on that first down play. Tigers looking off to the sidelines. The lone back is going to be Allen, and you're going to have 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near. Darlington working left to right in the red zone after the turnover. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. That's going to be Thomas Bethel. Tries to get out to the edge and find a little space, but nothing's there as the defense closes, and that's going to be a loss of about 3 yards.
Yeah, they put Bethel in motion there on the jet sweep, and Bethel is a shifty player. He can really make some guys miss, but that's a great effort sideline to sideline from Heritage on that play to shut it down, and actually I think they might have lost a yard there, Matt.
I think they lost about 3, as a matter of fact. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12, and they had 2nd down and 9 on that previous play. So Bethel's going to go out to the far side. Also out there's Thomas Speed, the lone back on flank to the left of Patrick Shelley's Harrison Allen. Here on the near side you got Bagby. Rolling out to his left is Shelley, looking for somebody to throw. He's got some company in the backfield, stays up, breaks a tackle, and runs out of bounds. And he might have picked up a couple of yards, but that's going to bring up, 4th down and 10.
Yeah, I like the idea of rolling Shelley out there, but he was rolling out to his left, so when he started looking for his receivers, he was having to throw back across his body, which would have been dangerous. I think it was smart for Shelley to wait until the last minute and just get out of bounds and leave the opportunity to put 3 on the board here, because a throw back across the middle late is always a risky idea.
This is going to be a 30-yard attempt for Brenton Sumner from the far hash. He certainly has the legs for it, so let's see if he can punch this thing through and give Darlington the lead after the turnover from Heritage on the first drive of the game. Here comes the snap. The kick is on the way, and it is good. 3-0, Darlington strikes first.
Nice defense there by the Generals on a sudden change like that. The turnover occurred. Darlington came out with great field position, ran the ball twice, weren't able to get much, and then their one pass attempt was well defended, but they did get 3 points off the turnover and take the early lead.
And again, we're at a disadvantage tonight, and you can tell if you're watching the video, but we do not have a clock tonight. The power on it's not working. Look, there's something blinking on it now, so it looks like they may have it worked out, but we'll have to see. They don't have it fully functional just yet, but that definitely puts at us a disadvantage in terms of knowing how much is left in the quarter.
We know that the guest had the ball.
Yeah,
that's the only light on the scoreboard
is
right now. But even though we don't have that, we'll do our best to keep you posted and eyeball the down and distance. And, of course, you've got the score on the screen there. But it's 3-0 Darlington as Brenton Sumner puts the ball on the tee to kick off for the second time tonight.
Ian, we've been doing games together since probably, about 2008?
Yeah.
And never have had this experience before. One of these days, though, we're going to write a book about our adventures in broadcasting in high school sports.
It can be titled Scissor Lifts. And
now, that's a true story.
Yeah.
That really did happen. We'll tell you about it later. Sumner is about to put toe to leather. The ball's on the way, end over end. This one's going to drop at about the 5. It'll be brought out by one of the Generals. We'll catch his number here in just a couple of moments, and he's going to be dropped at around the 25. So they're going to have similar field position as they had on their first drive.
That was Logan Lowe on the return, the senior for the Generals, and that's a nice stop again. Both returnable kicks tonight, but again, that hang time has allowed the coverage team to get down there and make a play on the ball. This time, nose of the football is right on the Generals' 26-yard line.
Well, we know we're in the first quarter still, and we know that Darlington has a 3-0 lead, but we have absolutely no clue in terms of how much time has ticked off the clock here in the first quarter. Shotgun formation for the quarterback of Heritage, and he's got one back in the backfield with him. He's going to drop back, rolls to his right, and that's Hanson, the quarterback, is going to put it in the air, and he makes a catch over on the far sidelines and picks up a first down and then some. That was a big play.
It really was. They used the play action to freeze the linebackers there, rolled the quarterback out. He was able to find his target on the sideline and pick up an easy first down.
So the Generals, we told you in the pregame that they like to fling the football around, and so far that has been true. And we get ready for their next play. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side, and the backfield is going to be Paxton McCrary, who is their bell cow. Here comes the snap to the quarterback, and his name is Hanson, and he is going to hand the football off and go off to the right side and picks up maybe 2-3 yards on the play.
Yeah, a little option fake there. Hanson kept that up the middle and picked up positive yards on first down. I think he got almost 5 yards, Matt.
Indeed he did. So that brings up second down and a long 5 here for Heritage as they've got the ball almost at midfield. It's going to be spotted a little bit past the 47-yard line, so they'll come back to the line of scrimmage again. Nick Hanson, their quarterback. In the backfield is going to be Paxton McCrary. 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side. Working right to left are the Generals. And Hanson takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to McCrary, who tries to go up the middle, but the Darlington Tigers plugged that hole very quickly.
They did. Harrison Allen came in there and made the stop. I don't think if he got anything, it was a very short gain, and that sets up third and that long 5 you mentioned before.
Indeed it does. So the ball is going to be spotted right around the 49-yard line, getting closer to midfield, but they're going to have to pick up some yards here on this third down play. And that's one of the things we talked to Coach about in the pregame is they did have trouble on third down getting off the field on defense. So let's see if they can get off the field right here. Shotgun formation. Nick Hanson ready to take the snap. 4 wide receiver set. There's the snap. He's going to fake and run. He goes up the middle, dives forward, but he's going to be a good yard or 2 short.
Yeah, he's short, and he would have had a huge gain, but Tyler Watkins got him by the shoelace and tripped him up. Great play there by Watkins to get him to the turf, and that sets up Heritage with a tough decision here. It looks like they're keeping the offense on the field and are going to roll the dice here on 4th and a long 2, almost 3 yards.
If you've just tuned in, it's 3-0. The clock is not functional here at the stadium tonight, so we have no idea in terms of how much time is left in our first quarter. Shotgun formation, 4 wide set, working right to left. Hanson ready to take the snap from the gun. He has McCrary in the backfield, and they're going to punt it away. Here is the kick. It is going to drop at about the 14-yard line, rolls backwards, takes a nice general's bounce inside the 5. And so I think they made the right decision there, Ian.
Yeah, and you're seeing that more and more where the quarterback, especially at the high school level, that's become a very popular trend to let the quarterback line up in the shotgun and then drop back a few feet to distance himself to get the punt off, or just use the pooch kick. And it gives you that option to fake if the defense gives you the right look. So you can expect Darlington to be in safe punt coverage all night long if that's how the Generals are going to play it when they have the option to punt.
Well, Darlington's going to have the ball lined up at their 5-yard line, so obviously they've got 95 yards to go if they're going to put up some points on this drive. So let's see what they'll dial up here for this first down play.
Yeah, a little different field position here, so I would expect some safe play calling from Brent Bell and Tommy Atha.
So they're going to line up in their power set. When we get ready for Shelley to take the snap, he's going right to Harrison Allen, which you probably could have predicted, but he bulldozes through the line and picks up 3 or 4 yards, which is really what you want in that situation.
And Harrison Allen's going to get you those tough yards.
Yeah, about 5.
Yeah, he did. He dragged the pile, got him out almost to the 10-yard line. Gives you a little bit more space to operate here. I would imagine things will stay on the conservative side with the play calling, as they're going to stay in that pistol formation. So we'll see what they dial up on second down.
Darlington leading at 3-0 on their first drive. Brenton Sumner would kick a 30-yard field goal to put them ahead. Shotgun formation here with 2 wide on the far side, 1 on the near. Allen is in the backfield with Patrick Shelley, and they also have a sniffer back in. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Allen. Stays up, drags the pile about 3 or 4 yards, and most of it was after contact, Ian.
It was, and he's going to be just short of that first down. But it's third and a short, maybe a yard, a little bit less than that. So Darlington's in good position to get a conversion here and keep this drive going.
So again, 3rd down and 1. The ball is going to be at the 14-yard line as Darlington will try to get this 3rd down conversion and move the chains and keep this drive going. Well, let's see what they'll dial up here. We're going to have Patrick Shelley with Harrison Allen in the backfield, and of course they go right back to him. He gets a big hole, stays up, gets out. He is going to be at about the 40-yard line, now down to the 50, drags the pile, and he almost got it out to midfield. So it looks like Darlington will line up at the 45 after that massive play.
Yeah, and you're going to get that. The defense is selling out to stop you right at the line of scrimmage, and sometimes they over pursue. And if you can get to that second level, you can get a big gain. And Harrison Allen breaks loose for the first time tonight, just dragging tacklers. He's not an easy guy to get to the ground. You cannot arm tackle Allen, and he proved it on that play there.
So shotgun formation, they'll spread things out a little bit more. 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. And Allen in the backfield. Patrick Shelley rolling out on first down, puts it in the air, and it's going to be caught by his wide receiver, who made a nice grab and picked up about 13 yards. That was Thomas Bethel, and what a great play.
And on both passing attempts for Darlington so far, you've seen Shelley roll out to his left. That was a really good job of him squaring up to deliver that pass. Speed ran an excellent route to catch it on the sideline, and that's another first down for the Tigers.
So first down for the Tigers. They will line up 1st and 10 now from the 45 on the general side of the field. Man goes in motion. That's Allen, and they're going to throw a pass off to the left side to Speed. Goes over his head. That'll be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that was kind of a bang-bang play there, well defended by the Generals. Just a lot of traffic that Shelley was throwing into there, so it was really lucky that it just fell to the turf.
So that brings up 2nd down and 10 here for the Tigers. Getting a little instruction from the sidelines. Tigers leading at 3-0. We're in the first quarter, and again, the scoreboard has no power, so we don't know how much time's left here in this first quarter, and we're going to have a flag that comes out perhaps a delay of game.
Now it's false start here. First penalty of the game goes against the Tigers.
So a 5-yard penalty is going to back the Tigers up to midfield right at the 50-yard line, and they'll get ready for 2nd down and about 14.
One thing Darlington has done well all season, when they commit a penalty, they've done a good job at chipping away and overcoming those mistakes. We'll see if they can do that here in this situation.
Tigers in the Generals for you tonight on WLAQ, 1410 AM and 96.9 FM. Also the Darlington video stream. Shotgun formation, 3 wide, or actually 4 wide set, 2 on each side. They're going to put it in the air, and that's going to be a little bit to the side of Thomas Speed, out of his reach, incomplete.
I think that there must have been a miscommunication there. Speed was wide open. Shelley fired one upfield. Speed had turned around on the curl route, and he just missed him.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd down here, and a long way to go here for the Tigers. They got to get about 14 yards down to about the 33-yard line if they're going to convert here and keep this drive rolling.
And you're at midfield. I wouldn't be surprised to see a draw or a screen, but you can also take a shot downfield, maybe draw a PI and get a cheap first down.
There's the snap. Shelley in the gun takes it. It's going to roll out to his right, puts it right on the numbers of Thomas Bethel. He's going to be brought down, so they really didn't pick up a lot on that play, maybe a couple of yards.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 to Bethel there on a little out route. Shelley's rolled out on every pass attempt tonight, so that's going to be an interesting trend to watch. He has not dropped back in a 3 or 5 step drop back just to fire from the pocket. Obviously, in the scouting, they saw something that told them they need to keep him on the move.
Well, we're going to see Brenton Sumner on, who handles all the kicking duties here for Darlington, on to punt this ball away. You'll have a couple of men back here for the Generals. Let's see if we can pick up their numbers here for you. But we'll wait on the snap to Sumner. It's a low snap. He has to pick it up, recovers, kicks it, and that's going to be a nice punt, and a fair catch is signaled at the 8. What a great recovery by Sumner.
Yeah, Sumner is an all-around kicking specialist, man, and he doesn't necessarily send those punts. I mean, they're not short by any means, but the spiral he gets on the ball, man, he is an artist out there with the way he kicks, and to handle that snap, which was low, and keep his composure and get off a kick like that, pinning the Generals back inside their own 10-yard line. Excellent play so far, and Sumner's having a good night.
Absolutely, and so both teams punt on their second drive of the night, and again, Sumner pins them at their own 9. Talking about the Generals, Darlington leads at 3-0. We're in the first quarter, but again, the scoreboard has no power, so we're not exactly sure where we are in the quarter. But we got to be moving along through it pretty quickly, I would assume. Shotgun formation, 2 wide to the far side, 1's on the near, McCrary in the backfield, and Hanson takes a snap, is going to run it up the middle, goes off to the left side, and he is going to be brought down after a good pickup.
Yeah, close to a first down there. Our view's a little bit blocked there by the General sideline, but design draw play there, and Hanson was able to get a good gain.
Yeah, it looks like he picked up 8 or 9 yards, so that's going to bring up second down and short as the ball is going to be on the 18-yard line.
Good crowd here tonight. The home crowd showed up, and across the way, the Darlington faithful is here in droves as well.
2 split wide on the far side. 1 here on the short side. There's the snap. They're going to hand it to McCrary. He bounces off to the right side. Harrison Allen got in there quick, and a host of Tigers with him.
Yes, it's offensive coordinator's favorite down and distance. 2nd and 1, and they tried to pick it up the conventional way by running the ball, and Harrison Allen said, not having it. You're going to lose a yard here, and we're going to make this difficult to pick up first down.
And I know Darlington gave up some points last week, but the defense overall played pretty well, and they've really been lights out much of the season.
Yeah, you had some great athletes last week that they were going up against. Maurice Finch and Tay Gray for Heard County were both really hard to get down on the turf. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play. But the front four for Darlington's been excellent all year.
3rd and 1 from the shotgun. Hanson gets ready to take the snap with a 4 wide receiver set, working right to left. Big play coming up here. He's going to roll out, looking to pass, goes to the left side and connects with his wide receiver, who makes a nice grab, and that was Logan Lowe.
Yeah, Logan Lowe seems to be Hanson's favorite target, and that was an out route. Hanson delivered that a little on the outside. Lowe made a great diving catch there. Not a big pickup, but all you needed was a yard and a half. They got 4.
And Logan Lowe had 9 catches for 86 yards in their victory against Ringgold a few weeks ago.
Good route runner, very, very good fundamental receiver from what we've seen so far in this first quarter.
So a fresh set of downs for Heritage Generals. They'll get lined up in the gun with 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, with McCrary in the backfield with the quarterback Hanson, and we're going to have a whistle and a timeout. So we are going to take one as well. It is 3-0, Darlington on top. We're in the first quarter. The scoreboard, well, the lights are out on it, so we're not sure exactly where we are on the clock, but we know Darlington leads this in the first quarter 3-0. We'll step out for 30 seconds on WLAQ. Yep, we are back here at Jeff Sims Field, home of the Heritage Generals in Ringgold, Georgia, on a nice, cool, perfect football weather evening. Matt Davis and Ian Griffin with you, and man, it's been a lot of fun here so far.
It has. We have no idea how much time's left in the first quarter, but it's been fun.
Well, they will line up talking about the Generals with first down and shotgun formation. Hanson's going to roll out to his right, gets into trouble. He's going to be brought down by a big man, number 50 for the Darlington Tigers. Christian McClooney comes in and grabs him for the tackle, and that was a nice hit.
Yeah, and Hanson has been under duress a fair amount of his passing attempts so far, but McClooney there with great pursuit as Hanson rolled out to his right and is able to get the sack and put them behind the sticks on second down. It looks like about 2nd and 14.
So the Generals will go back to the drawing board here with a long way to go on this second down play. They'll come back to the line of scrimmage, lining up in the gun. Again, McCrary, who is their bell cow in terms of a running back. He'll be in the backfield, flanked to the left of the quarterback, and they are working from right to left. So Hanson's set to take the snap. 4 wide receivers set. They're going to hand it off to McCrary, and he's going to be brought down immediately.
Yeah, so far not much in the running game with McCrary. He has not found any running lanes whatsoever. It's been Hanson on the design draws and play action scrambles that have picked up the only rushing yards that the Generals have been able to yield so far.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 11 here for the Generals. And Darlington's got a real opportunity here to pin the ears back on defense, get a stop, and have good field position.
And getting off the field on 3rd down was one of Coach Haitha's big points of focus going into this game.
Shotgun formation. Hanson set to take the snap with a 4 wide receiver set. And he is going to drop the snap, and he is going to be dropped immediately and just have to fall on the football. And good pursuit there from the defensive line and the play of Luke Lewis getting in there quick.
Yeah, Luke Lewis already recovered 1 fumble in this ball game. That time it wasn't a forced fumble. The snap was just low. Hanson had a hard time getting a hold of it, but was able to secure it before Lewis could dive on top. But you're off the field on 3rd down. The Generals are going to be punting from their own goal line, and yes, good field position should be in order for the Tigers offense on what will be their 3rd possession of the night.
Bradley Cass is their punter, and he is going to have to punt this from right around their goal line. Takes the snap. Rugby-style kick is going to be end over end, drops, and is going to roll down to about the 50 and then takes a bounce in favor of Darlington. So they're going to set up with good field position around the Generals' 48-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, so this will be the 2nd possession where they've started in Generals territory. The first drive, they recovered a fumble on the 13-yard line. Weren't able to get into the end zone, but got a field goal, and that's given them that 3-0 lead. The second drive for Darlington started just inside their own 5. They were able to drive to around the 50 before they stalled out and had to punt it back. This one will start at the Generals' 45, and we'll see if the Tigers can get some points on their 3rd possession.
Glad you're with us tonight listening to high school football on the radio. If you're listening to WLAQ 1410 AM and 96.9 FM, now that we've got a little bit of a break, did the first quarter end? Did you see a signal for that?
It may have.
Okay. Well, if
I'm going to guess that's what it is.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. 3-0 Darlington, I believe that's the end of the first quarter, so we're going to send it back to the studio. Well, we were about to, and now they're back out on the field. We're going to keep it right here. I don't want to miss any plays here. We'll make that up in just a little bit, but I think it must have been.
Yeah, bear with us, folks. We are trying to keep up with that clock, but there are no resources around for us to do so at this point.
So Darlington leads this game right now 3-0. And, well, they did flip sides of the field, so I think that's a pretty good indicator.
All right, we figured this out.
So at the end of the first quarter, the Darlington Tigers lead this game 3-0, and they're going to start their, third drive of the evening on the general side of the field at the 46-yard line. So, again, great field position. And that's a theme that we've seen from Darlington so far in the first few games. They've had great field position a lot throughout this season so far. So the Tigers are going to get lined up in shotgun formation. They'll have a wide receiver on each side of the formation working right to left. Shelley's going to hand it off to Allen, who bounces off to the left of line of scrimmage and gets inside down to about the, 39-yard line. So that was another big game for the Tigers.
Yeah, again, that's a design run between the tackles, and Allen's able to bounce that to the outside and pick up a nice 6-yard gain on first down. Staying ahead of schedule, man. That's exactly what you want if you're the Darlington offense right now.
Everybody's just confused about the situation without having a scoreboard. Shotgun formation, there's the snap to Shelley. He is going to hand it off to Allen. This time they're going to close the gap pretty quickly, and he takes perhaps even a loss.
Yeah, really well defended there. He made one cut, made a guy miss, and then was brought to the turf. So it'll be third down and every bit of 3 yards.
So let's see what they're going to what they'll dial up here on this third down play. Yeah.
It'll be interesting, Matt, because with 3rd and 3, you're at your opponent's 38-yard line. It's kind of 2-down territory. I think you could try to pick up half of this, or maybe even take a shot.
So they'll line up with a 3 wide receiver set on the far side, 1 on the near side on the short side of the field, working from the near hash and going right to left. They're going to give it off to Allen, who finds a hole. A flag does come in, though, so we'll see what that is. But he got it down to the 24, but this one's coming back.
Yeah, that's right in that area that screams holding. So I'm expecting the Tigers to get 10 yards, go 10 yards backwards here and have a 3rd and long.
We got a long ways to go, but we do want to invite you at the end of the night to stay tuned for the awarding of the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. Last week in the loss against Heard County, it was Thomas Bethel who had some big plays. He scored a touchdown, and he also threw a touchdown pass, and he's been an impact player for this team so far this season.
He has. There's so many contributors on this team. Tonight, some of the early names we might call. Luke Lewis has a fumble recovery. Brenton Sumner has played really well in the kicking game, so those guys are certainly candidates, but we have a long way to go to figure out who that player is this week.
Indeed we do. Darlington on top right now, 3-0. We are in the second quarter. And if you're just tuning in, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the scoreboard is broken. And so, therefore, we have no clue how much time is left in this quarter, but we definitely do know, since they flipped sides of the field, that we are in the second quarter with Darlington leading 3-0. So, big 3rd down and long here for the Tigers. 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation. Allen is in the backfield, flanked to the right of Patrick Shelley. Bryant went in motion. There's a snap. Shelley up the middle of the field, and it is almost intercepted by one of the Heritage Generals. And I tell you, that young man has got to be frustrated, because that was almost right to Paxton Smith, and he couldn't haul it in. But that's going to bring up 4th down for the Tigers.
Yeah, there was some heat on that pass. And so far, Shelley seems to be a little bit off with his throws. Hopefully he can settle down and get in rhythm. And convert some of these passing plays. I like the fact that they were aggressive there, threw the ball to the sticks. You know, I mean, you might be able to draw a pass interference, get a 1st down, but it was incomplete, and the Tigers are going to have to punt it away.
So Sumner on to punt it away, and more than likely you're going to see him be able to pin the Generals back quite far. So let's see what happens. Puts a lot of air under it. That's going to drop. Fair catch is signaled. It is fumbled. Ball is loose, and I think the Tigers have it in the red zone.
They've got it.
Good heads-up play and pursuit by the Tigers to get down the field and pick up that loose ball, and it looks like the Tigers are going to be inside the 10 with the ball. We are waiting on the signal right now. The other Generals may have come up with it.
I mean, there's a Generals player who has it in his hand. There were so many white jerseys down there. I'm going to watch the replay here since I have that luxury. See what I see, but it doesn't matter because they've ruled it Generals ball. And that was some kind of rugby scrum down there, because it looked like Darlington had it for sure. But one of the Generals players was able to wrestle that away. It won't be great field position, but that was almost a huge swing in momentum. Would have set Darlington up 1st and goal. Instead, the Generals have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line. But that's the second time Brenton Sumner has pinned the Generals inside their own 10.
So Heritage, as you mentioned, start on the 8-yard line on their side of the field. They'll line up shotgun formation with a 3 wide receiver set. McCrary in the backfield with quarterback Hanson. He takes the snaps, going to give it. Nope, he's going to pass it up the middle of the field. Great hands by Luke Lewis to get those hands up there and bat that ball down.
Luke Lewis is getting his name called a lot. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. And he about intercepted that ball. And he would have had an easy walk into the end zone had he been able to hold on to it, but a great play nonetheless.
Great effort so far tonight from the Darlington Tigers on both sides of the field, and the defense has been just absolutely stingy. So shotgun formation, 2 wide on each side of the formation, working from left to right on your radio dial. Hanson is the quarterback here for Heritage Generals. McCrary in the backfield with him. He's the lone back. There's a snap. He's going to drop back into their own end zone, puts it up the middle of the field, and that's going to be an incomplete pass, bringing up a 3rd down and 10. So the Generals with their backs up against the wall.
Yeah, so far the Generals' passing game has all kind of been dink and dunk. They threw one pass that was longer than 10 yards. They completed that, but every other attempt has been a simple out route or a crossing pattern. And Darlington's kept that in front of them and been able to shut it down. And they've got them now in 3rd and long from their own 8-yard line.
So the Generals will go back to the line of scrimmage here, needing 10 yards here to convert this 3rd down play. They're going to send 2 wide on the far side, 2 on the near. Hanson in the gun, in the backfield, McCrary. He flanks him to the left. There's the snap. They're going to drop back looking to throw on a play-action pass. It's in the air, a little wobbly, but it looks like it's on the mark almost in the hands of the receivers, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. Overthrew him just a little bit.
Yeah, an aggressive play there by the Generals offense. He had time in the pocket, set his feet, threw downfield, and it was good coverage. His feet got tangled up there, but I'm glad the refs had the wherewithal to not pull the flag, as that was incidental contact, and Darlington gets off the field again. That was a priority. They've done well so far. The Generals are 1 for 4 on 3rd down.
And now they will punt it away, and the punter is Bradley Cass. So Cass is going to have to punt it away deep out of the Heritage end zone. You've got one man in the middle of the field here for Darlington. That's Patrick Shelley to attempt to return the kick, and he is going to drop back, and it's going to bounce all the way down past the 50, gets all the way down to the 44-yard line. So that turned out to be about as good as you could ask for, I think, for Heritage.
Yeah, you know, that about a net of 40 yards there with no return out of your own end zone. You'll take that. But so will Darlington as their field position once again on 3 of their 4 drives has been excellent.
So Darlington's going to start on their own 44-yard line for this particular drive. So as you mentioned, Ian, great field position here. We are in the 2nd quarter, Darlington leading 3-0. The Generals, in terms of their drives in this game, their first drive would end up in a fumble, and then they would punt. So they've had a fumble and 3 punts, just haven't been able to get a string enough to plays together to get anything really going on offense.
They haven't. They've had some success in the running game. Penalties have set them back on the last few drives. They had a false start they weren't able to overcome. Last time they picked up the 3rd down, but there was a holding call, and they weren't able to convert once it was 3rd and long. So they need to clean those up and perhaps get a score here on their 4th possession.
4 wide receivers, shotgun set. They're going to throw a swing pass out to Bethel on the right side. He's got company. Nice spin move. Maybe got him a yard or 2, but not a whole lot on that play.
I've got to be honest. I'm impressed with the Generals' team speed on defense. They've really gotten out there on the perimeter and been able to defend well. They're not giving the Darlington receivers anywhere to run on these short passes.
So Darlington will go back to the drawing board here, Ian, for 2nd down and 8. They're going to have a couple of wide receivers here on the near side, and that's going to be Bethel sort of in the slot, and then Thomas Speed out far here to the near side. Got one over to the far side. Shotgun going to hand it off to Allen. A little misdirection there, went off to the right side, and he's going to be brought down. Not a lot there.
Oh. He had to work hard for those 2 yards. Some nice cuts there by Allen. He made 1, 2, 3 guys miss before he was brought down. And again, it's going to be third and long, about a 3rd and 7, if my eyes aren't deceiving me. Maybe
our angles
6.
are a little different. I'm thinking 5.
Okay.
Where it looks for me, but nonetheless, now you're going to have Darius Smith in the backfield and give Allen a little bit of a break. He's been working hard tonight for sure. 3 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Tigers are trying to convert on 3rd down. And Shelley's got company. The pocket collapses. He rolls out to his right, and he gets the yards and then some. What a way to improvise and make a great play.
And Shelley drops back. It was a 5-step drop there. He had some time in the pocket. The coverage was good downfield. Here's where Patrick Shelley excels and gives the Darlington offense another dimension. It wasn't there, and he's able to get outside the pocket and pick up the first down with his feet. That's a big pickup for Darlington because things have been getting a little stale on offense. They really needed that first down.
Well, let's see if they can string a few plays together and get into the end zone. Right now they lead this game 3-0, but in a lot of ways, Ian, from my perspective, it really feels like Darlington has dominated this contest so far.
They have. I mean, they've had the better field position and more opportunities to score, but one possession ball game right now.
Shotgun formation, they hand it off to Allen, and he's able to get maybe 2 yards on the play. So, again, another good defensive play there by Heritage.
Yeah, between the tackles, Heritage is playing well. Sideline to sideline, Heritage is playing well. Darlington's having to earn everything they get on offense right now.
So 2nd down and 7 yards coming up here for the Darlington Tigers. They've got the ball on the 39-yard line on the general side of the field, leading this one 3-0. Only points in the night so far were on the first drive for Darlington, which came after a Heritage Generals fumble in which Brenton Sumner kicked a 30-yard field goal. There's the snap. Going to give it off to Allen. He tries to go off to the right side, stays up, keeps those wheels turning, and he's able to pick up about 4 yards, and that was all effort right there.
All effort, and it's been all effort all night. Harrison Allen with a great carry there to get Darlington right back where they were last time before the holding call. We've got a 3rd and 3 here, which really gives you 2 plays to get that first down. They've got to avoid the mistake this time around and extend this drive.
Darius Smith comes off the field. Thomas Bethel is going to be in for this package. You're also going to have Simpkins here on the near side, as well as Bryant, or excuse me, Tyler Watkins. Wide receiver to the far side as well. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to pull it back, looking to throw, and he's going to have to run off to the sidelines, find some room. There's a flag. You think that's going to be a hold?
You got to wonder. It's in that spot. It could be defensive holding. Most likely this is going to be a 10-yard penalty and in the exact same scenario for the Tigers offense as last time. We'll see what the signal is, though.
And it is a hold on the offense.
It sure is. And I think it might have been, the ball might have been on the 37, not the 33 last time, but the same down and distance. And Darlington picks up a holding call, so instead of 3rd and 3, they're going to have 3rd and 13. An obvious passing down here. Maybe you try to pick up half instead of all of it here and still keep this as a 4-down territory situation. But it'll be interesting to see what Tommy Atha dials up. You know what we haven't seen, and I don't think this is the spot for it, but you know a trick play's coming at some point.
Eventually it is. 3 wide receivers on the far side. You're going to have Tyler Watkins lined up in the slot. You also have Bethel and Speed on that side. Here on the near side is Simpkins. Shotgun formation, Allen in the backfield. There's a snap. He's rolling out, looking to throw. He's got company, and he is going to take a sack there for a massive loss.
Yeah, that takes them all the way back to where the drive started at their own 45-yard line. That time, Shelley rolled out to his right. He was being pressured, tried to cut back, and when he turned, he was going to get eaten alive by another Generals player, and he couldn't keep his footing. So he goes down for a big loss. And Darlington, who was sitting pretty at 3rd and 3 at the Generals 34, finishes this drive back on their own 45 after the penalty and the sack. And Sumner will do his best to pin the Generals deep once again.
So for the 3rd drive in a row, it is blocked, and the Generals have got a lot of green grass in front of them. It is picked up and taken back for a touchdown. I believe that was number 9, which would be Bradley Cass, unless I'm badly mistaken on that number.
That's what I saw.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And they are going to score a touchdown after the block punt and the return. So that was a big turn of events and a momentum shift there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like you said, Matt, it's only 3-0, but you feel like Darlington's dominated this game. Well, Heritage has played them really tough, and that time it was just a jailbreak up front. There were 2 or 3 guys who could have gotten a hand on that to block it. I'm not sure what happened there, but a huge, huge turn in this ball game as the Generals now lead 6-3 with the PAT pending.
And here is the kick. It is up, and it is good. And that is going to move the score to 7-3 in favor of the home team tonight, the Heritage Generals. The kicker is Anderson Britton, and the score again moves to 7-3 in favor of the Generals. So, again, you know, last week the story of the game in the first half was points off of turnovers, and here in this first half, we have some points off that turnover, the block punt.
Yeah, and Darlington's had a lot of opportunity. The mistakes have really killed them. Those 2 holding calls were huge. I mean, they were knocking on the door, they're moving the ball, and then the holding call puts them in 3rd and long situations that they haven't been able to pick up. So now you just have to regroup. I mean, when it's a 1-possession game, all it takes is 1 mistake, and it's flipped on its back. So we'll see if the Tigers can recover with this next possession.
So a little special teams problem right there, and Darlington gives up quick points. But again, one of the things that we've seen from this team, Ian, so far this season, whenever they hit a patch of adversity in the game, you know they're going to respond.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This Darlington team is not going to quit. They will recover from that mistake and keep fighting. Defense has played excellent tonight, so this game's not getting away from either of these teams based on what I've seen so far.
So here is the kick, and it is going to be brought out for the Tigers at the 12-yard line. And with the ball is Bethel, bounces out to his right, stays up, and finds some room, and a nice return out to around the 30-yard line. That was a good job by Bethel.
Anytime Bethel gets the ball in his hands, he can do some explosive things. Nice return there. And the Tigers will see if they can regroup and retake the lead.
Glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ for Darlington Tiger football night. After tonight's game, we'll have a couple of things. We'll have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. We'll award that. And then we will also have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show for you. So that is always a lot of fun.
I know it is. It is. And there's a lot of great games in our region tonight that we'll be keeping an eye on throughout this game, but nobody delivers the scores like Randy and Lynn.
And that is the truth. So Darlington will line up at their own 32 to try to answer the bell here, down for the first time of the game, 7-3. And there's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Allen, who's going to pick up maybe a couple of yards on that first down play.
Yeah, so far it's been tough sledding for both of these offenses. Darlington has had some explosive plays here and there. But if you think about the scoring drive, they didn't move the ball but maybe 2 yards before they kicked it. So the defenses have really set the tone on both sides tonight.
So Heritage scores the only touchdown we've had so far in this game to go up 7-3 after a block punt, a scoop and score. Shotgun formation, Shelley takes a snap. He's going to hand it off. Nope, he keeps it, goes up the middle, finds a big hole, stays up. He's across midfield down to the 40-yard line, and finally they're able to haul him out of bounds. Another big play on the legs of Patrick Shelley.
Yeah, read option there, and Shelley makes the right decision. He saw the end crash down to go after Allen. He pulled the ball, kept it, and had a lot of running room. And when he's in space, he is dangerous. For a minute there, I thought he might cut back to the middle and take it to the house, but a great gain nonetheless, setting up the Tigers at the 39-yard line of the Generals. And they are right in this same area of the field where their last 2 drives have stalled out.
7-3, the Generals lead. They just took the lead just a few moments ago in this football game. We are in the second quarter. Got to be getting kind of close to halftime. We're not sure where because the scoreboard is not functional. Shotgun formation. There's the snap. It's going to be handed off to Allen, who finds a big hole, breaks off to his right, and picks up about 11 yards on first down.
First down for the Tigers. On consecutive plays, they've now picked up first downs and are almost to the red zone. This would be a huge answer, Matt.
And again, I mean, that's what we saw last week. They had the 2 turnovers that resulted in 14 points in the last 26 and a half seconds of the half. And then they came out in the second half and outscored Herd 17-7. So this team responds to adversity, and they do it quick.
We got a timeout by Heritage, man.
We're going to take one as well. We are 7-3. I was going to say how much time left in the first half, but we don't know because, again, the scoreboard's out. But it is 7-3. Heritage leads it here in the second quarter. We'll send it back to the studio for a 30-second break.
Northwest Appraisals, Our-House Studios, Promise Pediatrics, Sherwin Williams, Sim Sodfarm, Smile Doctors, State Farm, Lee Miller, Gary Thacker Insurance, Lawn Orthopedic and Spine Center, Walmart,
Yep, we are back here at Jeff Sims Field at Heritage Stadium, Heritage High School in Ringgold, Georgia, where your Darlington Tigers, they're trailing right now, but that could change here in a matter of moments as the Darlington Tigers have got the ball deep in, of course, General territory, but the Generals are up 7-3.
Yeah, a huge turn in momentum there. Darlington seemed to have everything under control. At 3-0, the defense had been shutting down the Generals, but the special teams play by Heritage gave them a huge touchdown. Darlington trying to answer and take that lead back before we get to halftime.
60 degrees here in Ringgold, Georgia. Nice, cool night for football.
Getting a little chilly?
I feel pretty good, man. I'm hot-natured, so I got long sleeves on. I probably could use at least a light jacket, but I'll be all right. Shotgun formation, 3-wide set. Darlington working right to left with first down with the ball inside the 30 on the General side of the field. They give it off to Allen, who breaks a couple of tackles, keeps on his legs, and is able to stay on his feet and get down about 6 yards.
Yeah, nice pickup there. That's one of the first times they've run off tackle, just a little pitch there, and Allen's able to keep bulldozing General defenders. He's really played a hard-nosed first half.
And it really seems as the game's progressing, he's starting to kind of wear them down a little bit
Yeah.
because he's getting bigger chunks of yards on these last several plays.
Yeah, if they keep this up, it's going to wear them down. I mean, the one major advantage here is Darlington has run a lot more plays on offense, so that will wear them down over time. 2nd
and 5 from the gun. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Harrison Allen, who picks up 2 or 3 yards on that play, setting up a third and what should be manageable.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
3rd and 3. Let's not get a holding call this time around, and we'll be okay. That has derailed the last 2 Darlington drives. This time they're going to pick it up, man. I can feel it.
We're in the second quarter here, probably close to the end of the quarter, I would assume, but we'll see what happens. It's 3rd and 3 here for the Tigers. Tigers trailing this one 7-3, but they're looking to try to take the lead before they head to the locker room for halftime here shortly. 2 wide receivers, or 3 on the far side, 1 on the near side. In the backfield, Zallen with the quarterback, Shelley. They hand it to him, and boy, the defense is all over him.
And it's going to be a tough call here. They didn't gain anything. It may have even lost a little bit. Do you send Sumner out and cut it to 7-6? That's what Tommy Atha is electing to do. You got to put points on the board in opportunities like this. You have a very reliable kicker, and I think it's the right decision.
I think you're right, Ian, and of course, I'm not ever going to be one to question the decisions made by coaching staff like Tommy Atha and his whole group of coaches. These guys really know what they're doing, no question about it. Well, this is going to be a 39-yard field goal attempt here for Brinson Sumner, and he certainly has the leg for it. It's right at the middle of the field, so let's see if he can punch it through and get the Tigers with 1. The kick is on the way. I think somebody might have got a little hand on it, but that is still going to be through, and the score moves to 7-6.
Yeah, Jack Payne with the hold, Brinson Sumner with the kick, and that's 3 points for the Darlington Tigers as they cut it to a 1-point lead, now trailing Heritage 7-6.
So a 39-yard field goal there for Brinson Sumner, and he has accounted for all the points tonight so far for the Darlington Tigers. A 30-yarder on the first drive, and then that was the 5th drive for Darlington in this first half, and that was from a little bit further out, a 39-yard field goal attempt that was good. So again, 7-6, Heritage on top by 1 point, and we are in the second quarter, and we're not sure exactly where we are in the
I'm
second
going to guess under 5 minutes.
I would think so.
Maybe
man.
less.
Maybe even like, I'm feeling 3. I think it's probably about 3 minutes, but I don't know.
I like it. I think somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes here to go in the second quarter. Great game for Brinson Sumner tonight so far. That block punt was not on him, as there were a bunch of guys who came storming at him before he could get it off. He has hit 2 field goals. He's pinned the Generals inside their 10 twice. Definitely the offensive MVP so far. I mean, Harrison Allen would be in the running for that as well.
Well, if we were to call it at halftime here in a few minutes, we would definitely say that Brinson Sumner for the first half was the honeymoon bakery icing on the cake player of the game. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. Sumner is going to put it in the air. The kickoff this time is going to float to around the 3-yard line. It'll be brought out by a General who stands up and gets it out across to about the 25. And he's going to be brought down maybe about the 27. So that was a good return there by the Generals.
Yeah, nice return. He had a crease there. Darlington did a good job to contain him. For a minute there, it looked like he was going to be able to take that one a long way. But the special teams, other than the one mishap, has played very clean. And the Darlington defense has been excellent all night. I don't expect anything different here. We're doing our guesswork here, but I would expect that the Generals are going to try to air it out and manage the clock. They've used 2 of their 3 timeouts. Darlington has their full complement of 3. So if the Tigers could get a 3-and-out here, they perhaps could try to mount another scoring drive before we get to the half. But then again, there could be 3 seconds left on the clock. We just don't know.
Logan Lowe was the return man on that last play. Shotgun formation, 4 wide set, 2 on each side, working left to right. And again, the Generals start out at their own 28 here for this drive late in the first half. They're going to get tripped up right there for a loss on first down. I believe the quarterback kept it there, and the defense did a good job.
Yeah, Hanson on a design draw, and that time the Tigers plugged it up once again. Want to get the right number here. I believe it was Will Bagby. No, number 10. That's Joseph Marion that made the tackle there. Really nice play there.
So that's going to drop them back for a loss of a couple of yards, and now you will see the Generals line up at the 26-yard line, moving in the wrong direction if you're a General, and you're going to have 2 wide receivers on the far side, a couple on the near. In the backfield with Hanson is going to be McCrary, flanked to his left. There's the snap. Hanson rolling back in the pocket to pass, tries to throw it in the middle of the field. He connects with a receiver on a screen pass who breaks a couple of tackles. I think he got a first down.
He did, and he didn't look like he was going anywhere. Well, that was number 6. That's Dante Harris on the carry, or not on the carry, on the reception, and the jitterbug screen pass worked for a first down. As there were Darlington defenders everywhere, he just kept making cuts and picked up some big yardage.
Got a score update for you.
Darlington's going to take a timeout, Matt.
You know, we'll take one as well. We'll talk about that in a couple of moments. But timeout on the field. We're late in the second half with Darlington trailing by 1. 7-6 is your score in favor of the Generals. Will step out for 30 seconds. Whoa. We're back at Jeff Sims Field at Heritage Stadium, home of the Heritage Generals, and right now the Generals lead it by only 1 point. 7-6 is your score. Darlington has scored on a couple of field goals, kicked by Brinson Sumner, one of the 30-yard variety and the other 39-yard line, 39-yard field goal attempt that was good. So now the Generals are going to line up here as we resume play with 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. So here we go, folks, as Hanson takes the snap, dropping back in the pocket. He's going to put it in the air. He's hit right as he was throwing the ball, and he throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, luckily that went out of bounds. He was blindsided there. I didn't catch the number.
We'll see it here on the replay.
That's Joseph Marion again.
Wow.
Having a good half, having a good possession here. That's the second big play he has made coming off the edge there. A nice timeout there by the Darlington coaching staff to regroup after that screen play and get them ready to finish this half.
Big crowd on hand tonight here at 4A school, Heritage in Catoosa County and Ringgold. Shotgun formation, 4 wide set, working left to right, 2nd down and 10. There's a snap. Hanson is going to have to tuck it and run. He had all kind of company in the backfield, throws it last second. The receiver had slipped up on the turf. He was down on the field, and the ball was thrown over his head, looked like to me.
Yeah, that was Logan Lowe, and Hanson actually had him. He just got in a hurry. He was really close to crossing the line of scrimmage, but decided to fire as he was wide open, but he missed him, and that sets up a 3rd down.
So 3rd down and 10 here for the Generals. Clinging to a 1-point lead, 7-6 over Darlington. We're late in the first half, and again, we apologize, but the scoreboard is not lit up tonight. No power to that tonight. They're having some issues with it, so we're not sure where we are on the clock exactly. Shotgun formation, Hanson with McCrary in the backfield. He's going to McCrary on this play, and he is tripped up immediately by the Tigers. Marion was in there. Lewis was in there.
And depending on how much time's on the clock, I'd expect Darlington to take a timeout here as they forced a 4th down. Great play there. Darlington's going to, looks like they're going to take it to the locker room. That's it.
That's it. That's the end of your first half. So the Generals lead this one at halftime, but narrowly, 7-6 after a defensive struggle there in the first half. And again, General 7, Darlington 6. We're going to send it back to the studio for a few minutes, and we'll get some scores courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. I'm sure that the Big Kahuna's probably back in the studio. If not, we'll relay them to you here in a little bit, and we'll also take a break. But we'll be back on the Darlington Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Heritage High School, Superintendent Dana Reese, and Principal Ronnie Bradford, please welcome to the field the 2020 Heritage High School Legion of Generals for your halftime entertainment. Tonight, the Legion of Generals will perform their show Plant Earth, featuring Earth, Wind, and Fire's In the Stone, A Brief Pause for Land of 1,000 Dances, Michael Jackson's Earth Song, and Christopher Tinn's Baba Yetu. The band is under the field direction of drum major Gavin Anchondo, Emily Vaughn, Cindy Bell, and Elise Ames. Will feature solos by Nathan Campbell, Dylan Campbell, and Ellery Johnson. And is excited to perform this season with our very own state champion Heritage 5-star dance team. Drum major, is your band ready to take the field? Just like that, with the flash of the beautiful homecoming dresses on the field. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Legion of Generals.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom
and on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks,
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty,
to tell stories,
to inspire.
We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish.
We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves.
Whether we're sketching,
singing,
writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world.
We know that our ideas and contributions matter,
and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
because today,
because today,
because today,
because today, tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
We are back enjoying listening to the Heritage Generals marching band right now at halftime. They've got a big band, and they are very, very good. And this is really entertaining, man. And it's the sounds of football on a Friday night. It really doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, especially when there's a little chill in the air.
It's fantastic.
It's perfect.
It's 60 degrees right now here in Ringgold, Georgia, and it feels like it's in the upper 50s, something like that, because we don't have a tremendous amount of wind, but it is a beautiful night. Feels great out here. We're glad you're with us. Wish the Tigers were on top. They're battling in this game, but so far, a couple field goals, all the offense in terms of scoring for the Tigers. They trail this one 7-6. because of a scoop and score after a block punt for Heritage. They picked it up and scored. And of course, at that point, we're up 7-3, and then Darlington kicked another field goal there in their 5th drive late in that first half to close it to a 1-point game. But here we are at halftime, Darlington trailing for the 2nd week in a row, but this time 7-6. So they're in this game. But it's going to be interesting to see, Ian, when they come out of the locker room, how they're going to look there in that second half. Both teams have played great defense.
Yeah, defense has been solid on both sides. Darlington has run a lot more plays offensively than Heritage. They've moved the ball. It's been the mistakes that have plagued them. 2 big holding calls when they were driving and the inability to convert on 3rd down. Darlington wanted to get off the field on 3rd down defensively, but right now they're 2 for 7 on 3rd down. And Heritage is 1 of 5. So you've got to like the way your defense is playing. I would say that in that half, the Generals had less than 100 total yards, while Darlington was probably nearing 150. So they're outgaining them. The only scoring play was on a blocked punt. You like where you are. Just keep playing clean. Keep doing what you're doing. Eliminate the mistakes on those holding calls, and you're going to get this thing rolling in the second half.
Well, Ian, I've got a random question for you here as we're at halftime. We've got a little bit of time, but when you were a younger person, did you ever have or desire to have a mullet?
Matt, no. No, I did not. But when I was a younger person, there was a trend that has not resurfaced to my knowledge. But the rat tail. I wanted a rat tail. My mother said no way. And I thank her every day for it.
You know, I wanted one as well. And also there was another style called DuckTales that kids had during that period of time. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so I'm with you, Mom, Dad, if you're listening. Thank you so much for never allowing me to do that. Of course, my parents were pretty conservative when it came to that kind of stuff. I always wanted to have a buzz cut, and I absolutely had to beg to get that and finally talked them into that. But there was going to be no rat tails or any kind of duck tails. And I never remember ever thinking I'd like to have a party in the back and business in the front in terms of having a mullet. But the reason I asked that question is over the last few weeks coming to these football games at Darlington, the first couple of games, and then here and then at Heard County,
yeah.
I have seen so many young people that are wearing mullets in 2020, and that I know that things kind of circle back around in terms of fashion and style and stuff like that, but there's no way that I ever would have thought that young people would pick up on wanting to have mullets again.
Was it the Tiger King?
Did
he do it? Did he bring it back? Because Billy Ray Cyrus is the one who birthed the popularity of the mullet in the 90s. So maybe I'm just going to say this is the Tiger King effect.
I mean, people got crazy from the quarantine and said, hey, I'm just going to cut loose and grow myself a mullet. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe we should try it. Maybe we should go ahead and commit for the rest of the season that we're going to try to do that and see what kind of mullets we can put together by the end of the year. We're on video.
Mullet Matt D. I could see it.
Mullet madness.
I don't know if I have enough hair to grow a mullet. That's why I'm wearing this hat tonight. You know?
Of course, I've always been a big hockey fan, and Yammer Yager, he's always been somebody that's had one of the most championship mullets you could ever imagine having.
You're a big Mike Gundy guy.
Yeah, Gundy. He rocks the mullet pretty well. Let's see. The guy
Barry
who played
Melrose.
MacGyver, Richard Dean Anderson, had a great mullet. Richard Marks. You know, we could go on and on here. There's some great mullets out there.
Some legendary mullets.
I don't know. Might have to think about that.
We'll have to get a mullet cam and see if David can figure that out for the rest of the season. The Darlington video team can be on the lookout, and we can have a mullet cam. Some people have a kiss cam. We could have a mullet cam.
Well, we'll just have to see what happens with that. But you are listening to Darlington football, believe it or not, here on WLAQ and also the live video stream courtesy of Darlington School. And at halftime, it's 7-6 in favor of Heritage, but looking forward to a big half from the Darlington Tigers coming up in the second half. And now that we have a little bit of time, of course, we don't know how much time we have because the scoreboard is down, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But when they come out, we know we'll have the 3-minute warm-up period, so we're good to go for a while. But courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center, let's run down some scores from some other area games.
All right, I'm going to start with a shocker. The team Darlington played in such a close contest last week, the Heard County Braves. They traveled to Cedartown this week. Matt, you and I picked Cedartown to win that game. Randy Davis didn't, and he's regretting it right now because Heard County is trailing the Cedartown Bulldogs 2-0 as that one nears halftime. Cartersville, who is undefeated but has had some close contests, we expected Cherokee to give them a pretty good game. Right now, I've got a 3-0 score. Cartersville is in the lead, but the Cherokee Warriors are giving the Hurricanes everything they can handle. Pepperell has just scored to even things up against Temple. We thought that would be a tough game. Expect the Dragons to win that, but the Temple Tigers are going to give them everything they can handle. Rome, in a back-and-forth game against South Paulding, was winning 12-6. South Paulding scored on an 84-yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first half. Rome was able to get back down the field and convert a field goal. They're up 15-14 at halftime. I think we all expected Rome to kind of win that one big, but those Paulding schools are kind of hard to predict. They've had some great teams, whichever direction you want to pick. They've all had success, so you never know what you're going to get out of the Paulding teams. Obviously, they've got a pretty good team if they're hanging with Rome right now. Tryon and Cedar Bluff tied at 0-0 based on the score I have. Gordon Lee 20-0 over Gordon Central, which I think we expected. Armurchie, who won their first game against Towns County, got blown out in a mismatch against Cherokee out of Alabama last week. Only their third game of the season due to some COVID issues. Not all on their side. Some of their opponents had cancellations as well. But they're taking on Southeast Whitfield, an 0-4 team that has not performed well. They've got a chance to win this game. Right now, score 0-0, so the Indians are still in it. Cass, who is 4-0, and they're going to be 5-0. 35-7, they lead Ridgeland right now. Obviously, Ridgeland is not the team they used to be. They got drubbed by Calhoun 60-0 last week.
Guess who Cass is playing next week, though?
Who does Cass have?
Cartersville.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
It could be interesting.
We're
definitely going to find out just how good this Cass team is coming up next week for sure, but they're definitely much improved of what we've gotten used to with that team.
They've beaten some good teams, I think. I mean, like you look at some of these teams like Woodland, for example. They're undefeated. But they hadn't really played anybody. Cass hasn't played any world beaters, but they've played solid football teams, and they keep getting W's.
And I do want to mention the quarterback for Cass. He has a famous uncle, if you're a Georgia football fan, but Keith Henderson, that played high school football in Cartersville and then also went on to be a great player for Georgia, played in the NFL for, I think, about 5 seasons. That is Keith Henderson's nephew, who is the quarterback for the Cass Colonels.
Absolutely. Rockmart and Sonorville are playing at the Rock in Rockmart, and Rockmart is taking it to the Phoenix, 34-0. The Yellow Jackets lead that game in the second quarter nearing halftime. Calhoun taking on the Woodstock Wolverines. We all thought Woodstock was a pretty good program. Calhoun leads 14-0. The Yellow Jackets only have one loss. They turned the ball over a lot in that loss. They're looking to have a good season. What's new? That's just the way they play in Calhoun. Dade County trails Mount Zion 14-7 in the first quarter. This is a much improved Wolverines team by what we can tell. They're playing real competitive football. They're scoring points, which is something they haven't done a lot in the last decade.
And one of the things when you look at the game stories, I believe it was the game last week, they threw the ball like over 30 times or something like that. They're putting the ball in the air, which is something we've seen Dade County play a lot over the years, covering 7 AA schools, and they've never been known as being a passing team. So they're really mixing things up over there at Dade County.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. They've got a good coach. I know you've done some studying on him, and expect that program to come a long way. So that's all the scores I've got for you right now, but a lot of good games across the region tonight. We'll keep a close eye on that going forward.
And Ian, for the folks at home watching on the video, obviously this won't do you any good in terms of the radio, but man, look at the beautiful moon that we have tonight in the skies. It's an absolutely gorgeous night, and I don't know what the exact name for that particular moon is, but there's a name for that. Somebody's got to know it. But nonetheless, it's absolutely beautiful night.
We'll get our astrology correspondent to phone in here shortly, and perhaps we can get that.
Well, anyway, this is Darlington football for you tonight on WLAQ and also the live video stream courtesy of Darlington. And I do want to take a moment here to thank our sponsors for making it possible for us to be here for you tonight. Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery. We're going to have the icing on the cake player of the game. I always look forward to awarding that at the end of the game. And I'm told by Coach that the kids really absolutely love to have the opportunity to win that award and also support each other when they win it and like to congratulate them and whatnot about that.
A lot of candidates tonight. A lot of candidates. Mr. Sumner has played great from his kicking position, both in the punting game and place kicking. And then you've got to think Luke Lewis has to be in the running for that. He's played a heck of a game so far. But we'll see who emerges in the second half to win that prestigious award.
Indeed, and also Riverside Auto Group's on with us for this game. Avery Drugs, Rome Orthopedic Center sponsors our scoreboard show at the end of tonight's action. So if you're watching on the video, you definitely want to switch over to the radio. And if you're out of our terrestrial realm, so to speak, you can go to WLAQ1410.com and pick up the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show. That's going to be a lot of fun and find out what happened in tonight's action. Ware Mechanical and Jower Scalar Insurance. Thank you all for sponsoring the radio broadcast.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and definitely tune into that scoreboard show. Great callers that call in with good insight. It's not just a bunch of shout-outs on that show. It's people who have been at the games and are calling in to give you a report of what went down, not just the score, but how it happened. So valuable information in the world of high school football.
You are such a good marketer. You just invented the tagline for that show. The Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. It's not just a bunch of shout-outs. It's insightful callers that tell you what happened.
There you go.
I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's basically the gist of what you said.
Hey.
So we need to put together a promo for those guys. But
let's get it done, Matt.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, it's 7-6 at halftime. Heritage on top. Let's see what the Darlington Tigers will do when they come out of the locker room, as they will have the ball to start the second half as Heritage started this game out on offense. So we're going to send it back to the studio for a few minutes, kind of catch our breath. We're not sure exactly how long we have left at halftime. Have we mentioned that the scoreboard doesn't have any power tonight here at the stadium? Well, that is the case. So we're not sure where we are with that. But the players have not come back out on the field, so we have not reached the 3-minute mandatory period. So we're going to step out for a break, and we'll come back here on the Darlington Radio Network. We'll be back. We are back at halftime where it is 7-6 in favor of the Heritage Generals over your Darlington Tigers, and getting ready for the second half to begin here in just a little bit. It's also homecoming here, and they had some, festivities and whatnot, ceremonies taking place before the game. So we're going to get underway here in just a little bit, but we do have some halftime statistics for you. And before we go into that, I want to thank Stacy Norton for shooting those to us via text just a few minutes ago. We really appreciate that. Helps out a lot because we're a two-man crew here, and it's hard to keep up with all of that and also do the commentary and whatnot. So again, thanks to Stacy. He has a son on the team, Liam Norton. We hadn't called his name this season. He is a sophomore, and the reason we hadn't called his name is because he's injured. He's got an issue and actually has been on crutches. So we certainly hope that he gets all that, fixed and whatnot here soon and can get back out there. But again, thanks to Stacy. We really appreciate that, man. And now we'll run down the numbers for Darlington. We'll start with the rushing numbers for them. You had 14 carries for Harrison Allen for a total of 76 yards. Thomas Bethel would have 1 carry for -3 yards. Patrick Shelley, quarterback, he would have 3 carries for 37 yards. Speaking of Shelley for passing, he's 3 of 6 for 16 yards. Receiving totals, you have 1 pass to Thomas Speed for 4 yards, and then 2 targets to Thomas Bethel for 4 yards. So you had just the 6 passes there in the half. And then as far as tackles are concerned, we'll talk about the defense now. You would have, let's see, what do we got here? I'm going to have to see. Darius Smith would have 1 tackle. Harrison Allen would have 2. Then you would have 1.5 for Tyler Watkins. Then for Joseph Marion, he would have 3 tackles. He had a big first half.
Yeah, especially late second quarter. He made some great plays, good shoestring tackle, and then another hit on the quarterback while he was throwing that forced an incompletion. So a nice closeout to the half for Marion.
Patrick Shelley would pick up 1 tackle. Also, Thomas Speed would have 1. Then Christian McClooney, he would have a couple of tackles in that first half. And then Luke Lewis, he would have 2 tackles and also a fumble recovery. And on the same note, Davis Watson, he would have 1 tackle, but he forced the fumble.
Yeah, that was a great way to start the game there. Only the second play from scrimmage. And Davis Watson came from the blind side, stripped the ball. Luke Lewis fell on top of it. The Tigers went 3 and out, but converted on the field goal to take that early 3-0 lead. After that, it was a little bit of a stalemate. The Tigers moved the ball, but couldn't convert on any of their scoring opportunities, while the Generals really didn't sniff a score the entire half. And then on the 1 punt that came from deep in Darlington's own territory that was set up, I believe Patrick Shelley was sacked or lost his footing and lost some yards back around the 45. The Generals came free when they tried to block the punt, blocked it, scooped and scored, took the lead. Darlington immediately answered with a drive to pull it within 1. So it was a good effort by the Tigers. They really looked like the better team. But this is anybody's ball game right now. The Generals are playing really good on defense. They've been able to get off the field. Again, we go back to 3rd down conversions for the Darlington offense. They're 2 of 7. They've had 2 opportunities on 3rd and 3 where they've had a holding call that has put them back behind the chains and really derailed those 2 drives. As for Heritage, they're only 1 for 5 on 3rd down. So the Darlington defense is achieving the goal of getting off the field on 3rd down. You'll want to continue that trend in the second half. And if they do so and ride Harrison Allen, who has really been gritty tonight and fighting for every yard, I think that eventually they'll wear this General defense down and get the victory.
Indeed, Ian, and we always talk about what a big weapon you have if you've got a great kicker like you have. And Brinson Sumner, and tonight he's kicked 2 field goals, one of the 31-yard variety, and then the other one was a little further out. It was 39 yards, but you also have to mention the couple of punts where he pinned Heritage back inside their 10. So he's not only done it in terms of kicking field goals, he also did it with his leg, with his punts, and he's just been outstanding tonight.
Yeah, he gets great hang time, man. He spins the ball well, gets great hang time, and if you remember that second punt that he pinned him inside the 10 was fumbled, and there was a host of white jerseys, Darlington Tigers, ready to pounce on the ball. Somehow the lone General in that pile came away with the ball. That would have been huge, but they weren't able to get it. But right now, the block punt doesn't necessarily count as a turnover, but I'd say the turnover battle is even because they blocked the punt. That changed the game completely. We're able to scoop up and score on that. So I'm going to give Heritage credit for a turnover there, and the points off the turnovers would be 7-3 so far in advantage of the Generals.
Well, again, 7-6 is your score at halftime. It's 60 degrees. When we started the game, it was about 66, and then as soon as the sun started going down, the temperature started dropping immediately, and it feels like football here in Ringgold, Georgia. We are at halftime, and we are just about ready to start the second half, again, with Darlington trailing by 1, but they do get the ball to start the second half, and when we saw, of course, Darlington come out in the second half against Heard County, they really played well, outscored Heard 17-7 in that second half. So looking for the Darlington Tigers to have a strong half offensively. I think they're going to be consistent on defense like we've seen all games so far. Look for that to continue. But I think Darlington's going to find a way here in this second half to get more points scored.
Yeah, well, the one thing that's been surprising for me is that the wide receivers have struggled to get open on some of these short and intermediate routes. So we'll see what adjustments Coach Atha and Coach Bell made offensively. I think the defense needs to keep doing exactly what they were doing, and we'll see if they can have more success and if they can actually cash in on some of these offensive drives as they did move the ball.
Well, we're just about set to start the second half, and the young man that's going to kick it off for the Generals here momentarily is Anderson Britton. And I do want to mention that coming up next week, we're going to be back at the friendly confines by the lakeside at Chris Hunter Stadium as the Tigers get ready to host Kings Ridge Christian and a battle of the Tigers, because both of those teams' mascot is the Tigers. So that'll be an interesting night. And I know that Kings Ridge has kind of struggled over the last couple of seasons. And so, you know, Darlington is going to be going up against a team next week that they will have a very good shot, I think, of getting a home win, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure exactly what they have this year. But here we go, folks. The ball is teed up at the 40, and we're just about to be underway with our second half with Darlington trailing 7-6 to Heritage. Anderson Britton is running to the ball, and toe meets leather. And here we go with the second half. Back into the end zone is McDermott, and that is going to be a touchback.
A nice kick there by Britton, and that sets up the Tigers with their first possession of the second half at their own 20-yard line.
So Darlington will come out and see if they can get something going here on offense as we start our second half. And it's almost, well, not quite 9 o'clock, 8:51. You're listening to high school football. Darlington football here on WLAQ here on a Friday evening. This is the fourth game of the season for the Tigers. They come into this game 2-1 after their first loss of the season last week, 35-30 at the hands of Heard County. Just a hard-fought battle. It was a great game. Shotgun formation. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to give to Allen, who goes up the middle and picks up 4 or 5 yards. He is carrying the pile with him, man. What a great effort.
He is. He earned every one. What, did he have, 76 yards in the first half? And he earned every one of them. A couple of Generals are slow to get up, but they're on their feet, so we won't have a stoppage here. But a nice gain on first down of 5 yards.
Very hard run by Allen. He'll still be out here for this package. And that brings up second down and 5 for the Darlington Tigers, working from left to right. They're in their white uniforms today here on the road. And Shelley gets ready to take the snap with Allen in the backfield. He's going to fake it to him, goes off to his left, stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and picks up maybe 3 yards. That was a good run by Shelley.
Setting up a 3rd and 2 as he kept it on the read option and was almost able to get to the edge. Good pursuit, though. This Generals defense has some really good speed and have done a good job of keeping them from getting out there on the edge and busting some big plays. That we got accustomed to those big plays, and they have not been there for Darlington tonight. That's a credit to Heritage.
Darlington's got to get it right to the 30 if they're going to pick up this 3rd down conversion here. Shelley looks off to the sidelines. He has the signal. Going to line up with 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. There's the snap to Shelley. He's going to give to Allen, who tries to muscle through, but this time the defense is able to haul him in and get him down to the turf.
Just trying to power through there, Matt, and they couldn't pick up a yard as the Generals defense stayed sound up the middle, and that's going to force Darlington to punt it away.
So the first drive of the second half for the Darlington Tigers is going to result in a punt, and they will give the ball, of course, to the Heritage Generals. And going back deep here for the Generals is going to be Cade Kinnery. I believe that's how you say that young man's name. And Brenson Sumner will put the boot on it here in just a couple of moments and see how far he can flip the field. There's the snap. The kick is on the way. Looks like a pretty good kick. It is going to drop at about 30. Takes a really nice bounce. and is going to roll all the way to the 21. So another great punt.
I think he was tuning in at halftime. He's like, I got a shot at the icing of the cake player of the game here.
He's got a real shot at it tonight.
Yeah. I mean, he swings the field there with a great punt. Nice high kick that the return man could not field, had to let it bounce, and it fell dead at the 20-yard line. So great punt from Brinson Sumner. And the Darlington defense will come out. We'll see if they can remain as dominant as they were in the first half. They were not giving up anything in the run game. And I think they only gave up one play of 10 or more yards in the first half.
Shotgun formation, trips to the far side, one wide receiver to the near side. Hanson ready to take the snap with McCrary in the backfield, flank to his left, working right to left. He's going to put it up the middle of the field, and that's going to be an incomplete pass to Logan Lowe.
A nice job there by Davis Watson, and it's been – you know, they're not just playing well, they're playing smart. We've seen Luke Lewis bat a pass down that time. It was Watson that got through and had the wherewithal to get his hands up and force Hanson to adjust his throw, and it fell incomplete.
So the Generals will have a 2nd down and 10. They come back from the huddle to the line of scrimmage, which is at the 22-yard line. In the gun. McCrary in the backfield with Hanson, the quarterback. He's flanked to his right. They're going to fake it to him, go off to the right side, put it in the air, and a nice grab by the wide receiver. Picks up a 1st down, but we do have some laundry on the field.
We have a flag. It'll be interesting to see what the call is there. That's the 2nd time they've run that play, and both times it has been wide open. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if that goes back to the well, but I think we're going to get a push off here in an offensive pass interference. See what the call is here. As the head official makes his way over.
Hold.
It's a hold.
A hold on the offense, the Generals. So a loss of 10 yards.
All right, so that goes from 1st and 10 to now what looks like 2nd and I'll see how they march this off too. I think it's a spot foul. Yeah,
yep.
So it's it'll be 2nd and 5. And that's one of those penalties that'll drive you crazy. It was away from the ball, so really negated a play, and it was totally unnecessary.
So the Generals will come back to the line of scrimmage here with 2nd and 5. We're in the 3rd quarter. Generals leading this one 7-6. Darlington came out of the locker room from halftime and went 3 and out on their first drive, and so Heritage has the ball with a 2nd down play forthcoming.
That was the first penalty of the night for the Generals.
Unbelievable. Hanson, the quarterback, lines him up in the gun. He's got 2 wide here on the near side, 1 on the far side. Heritage leading at 7-6. There's a snap. They're going to hand it off, go off the right side to McCrary. He breaks a couple of tackles, and then finally he's hauled in by a couple of different Darlington Tigers. I know Luke Lewis was in there. And I believe also Bowden Owens had a part in that tackle.
Yeah, let's see what the spot is. That spot looks like it's going to be enough for a 1st down. So we wait for the signal. They are moving the chains.
Yep. So a Heritage 1st down. That'll move the chains, and the ball is going to be right at about the 24-yard line, or excuse me, 34-yard line, rather. So Heritage is coming back to the line of scrimmage with a fresh set of downs. They're going to line up 3 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, working right to left. McCrary's in the backfield with Hanson, the quarterback. Hanson set to take the snap. He's got it in his hands, rolling out, looking to throw here on this 1st down play, and that's going to be an incomplete pass, almost intercepted by Patrick Shelley.
Patrick Shelley was there on the tip drill. He just couldn't reel it in. Hanson rolled out to his left, threw back across his body, threw high, ball was tipped. Shelley got a hand on it, couldn't reel in, would have been a huge turnover. Instead, it'll be 2nd and 10 for Heritage. And we've had a lot of running plays here, so I'm going to guess we're nearing the midway point in the 3rd quarter.
Who knows? And again, if you're just tuning into our ball game, the reason we don't know how much time is left on the clock is because the scoreboard is not working. They tried to fix it before the game, and it just wasn't happening.
Yes, it has been an ultimate fail as far as the scoreboard is concerned.
Hanson lines him up in the gun with McCrary in the backfield, 4 wide set, 2 on each side. There's the snap, pulls down the snap. He's going to roll out, looking to throw here on this 2nd down play. Connects with the wide receiver, but can't quite hang on as he dove. And the wide receiver was Logan Lowe, one of the favorite targets of Hanson.
Yeah, Logan Lowe gives it his all. That was a low ball that he was trying to field. Couldn't pull it in. Hanson did a nice job to evade the rush and even get that pass off, but the Generals will be set up with a 3rd and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
So the senior quarterback has them in the huddle. They break the huddle and come back to line of scrimmage with 3rd down and 10. With the ball again on the 34-yard line, lined up in the gun, 4 wide set. Hanson ready to take the snap with McCrary now flanked off to his right side. He's going to drop back, looking to throw, and he's got company in the backfield and he's going to throw it, but I think he was out of bounds when he made the grab. We'll see what the official says.
He was out of bounds. They waved him up. Yeah, definitely out of bounds there. So that's going to be a 4th down. And Darlington gave up 1 first down on that possession, but was able to get him off the field again. That's 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions for the Generals, and Darlington should have decent field position here.
So now we will see yet again Bradley Cass punted away here for the Generals. Going to have 2 men back, McDermott and Shelley, on opposite sides of the field for the Darlington Tigers. And let's see if they get an opportunity to return. There's the kick. It's going to be low flying, drops, takes a nice Generals bounce and rolls all the way back inside the 25 to the 24. So that was a good punt there by
It was, and he's punted well tonight too. A different approach than Darlington's Princeton Sumner, as he trots out a couple of steps to his right and then gives the end-over-end rugby punt. It usually lands short and gets a good bounce, but it's hard for a return man to step in there and receive that without risking a turnover. So good heads-up play there by the Darlington returners to stay away from it, and they get their second possession of the second half started at their own 25-yard line.
Score still in favor of Heritage, 7-6. That's where we were when we began this 3rd quarter, which we've got to be getting pretty deep into this quarter. At this point, Darlington's going to line up on their own 25 to begin their second drive of the half. And now they're back at the line of scrimmage with Harrison Allen in the backfield with Shelley in the gun with a 3 wide receiver set and a sniffer back. Here's the snap. He's dropping back, going to throw after taking 2 steps back. Gets it to Bethel. That'll be about a 7-yard gain on the pickup.
Yeah, nice play there. Nice pickup on first down. I like that they with the forward passing game, everything's been kind of lateral in the first half. Get Bethel the ball in space, see what he can do. You've got a lot of receivers who can make a move and get to the end zone here. So that might be one of the big adjustments we see from the Darlington offense in the second half.
Watkins, Bethel, and Bagby here on the near side. Thomas Speed is on the far side as far as wide receivers. You got Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley with 2nd down and 3 coming up, working left to right. Here's the snap. They're going to hand it off. The ball's on the turf. This could be a disaster, but I think the Tigers were able to cover on that football, and so there's a fumble. But Patrick Shelley with great peace of mind. I think he's the man that came up with the ball.
Yeah, they avoided disaster there. That play was absolutely blown up by number 24, Jonathan Washburn. He came in there and disrupted that and knocked the ball loose. But Darlington was able to get on top of it and will now have a 3rd and long here from their own 24.
This is one of those nights where there's a lot of moisture in the air, so your papers kind of get soggy as the night goes on. I know Steve and I, we always talk about that on these nights. There's a snap. Patrick Shelley is dropping back, looking to throw up the middle of the field. He's able to hit Thomas Bethel for a big gain. That's going to be about a 15 or 16-yard play, Ian.
Great footwork there by Patrick Shelley as he was able to step up in the pocket and fire that ball with authority. He hummed that one in there, and Thomas Bethel made his 2nd catch of this possession, and that's a 3rd down conversion, setting Darlington up at the 47-yard line.
And you know, Ian, one of the things that's so impressive about Thomas Bethel is the young man is just a sophomore, and with the crazy offseason you have with no spring and not a lot of prep time in the summer, they're getting a lot out of him that I don't know that they totally expected. There's a snap. They give it to Allen. He picks up about 8 yards, and there's the pile. But, man, what another big, hard run from Allen.
Yeah, you pick up a first down. It'll be interesting to see if Darlington kind of picks up the tempo here to get this Generals defense on their heels. You see Patrick Shelley looking over to get the signal. They're going to get on the ball and moving it with some nice momentum here right now, man.
Well, let's see if they can string a few more plays together and get this thing down and score and take the lead. Darlington trails this one 7-6. We are late in the third quarter, not exactly sure how late in the quarter because the scoreboard is out. Shotgun formation. And there's the handoff to Allen. They're going to go up the gut and see if he can muscle out a couple of yards and get the first down. He's close.
He's got it. He's got it. Based on the spot from the side judge over there, they've got it by a few yards. So the chains will move. And Darlington's on a roll here. What they have to avoid here in the second half that troubled them in the first are the penalties that cause their drives to stall out. Right now we've got an official timeout.
Give you some more score updates here as the evening progresses. Of course, after tonight's action, you can tune in for the Rome Orthopedic Scoreboard Show. But here we go, folks. Under center is going to be Shelley, and he takes the snap, dropping back, is going to put it in the air on the play-action pass. He's got his man open, but he overthrows Thomas Speed. That would have been the home run ball.
Absolutely. Oh, we've got a Tiger down, and he looks like he's hurt, Matt. Unfortunately here, there was a collision at the end. I believe that's number 72, DJ Johnson, that's down on the field. So we'll have to see if he's okay, as the Darlingtons narrowly missed on a big play opportunity there.
And DJ, if that is DJ, he is a big lineman for this Darlington team. He's really an integral part of how this team works as far as their offensive and defensive lines are concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a heck of a player, so let's hope that he's okay.
And we may take a break here in a few moments, but I'm going to see if he pops up because I'm hoping that's the case, obviously, and we've certainly seen that over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the temperature tonight, this is not going to be a cramping situation, and they're working on him right now. So I think we will go ahead and take a break. Right now we're in the third quarter. Darlington trails this one 7-6. We will step out for a few moments here, probably just going to take about a 30-second break here on WLAQ, but we'll be back here in just a few moments. All right, we're back at Jeff Sims Field, Heritage Stadium. We are in Ringgold, Georgia, home of the Heritage Generals, and that was big, number 72, DJ Johnson, as you mentioned. And he had to have some help off the field. They got him up and off the field pretty quickly, but we'll see what happens with that injury situation.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated there.
So they'll line up in the shotgun. The Tigers with a 2nd down and 10 with the ball right at the middle of the field. They're going to put it in the air, and that's going to be a nice grab by the wide receiver, who was Thomas Speed over there on the far side, and picks up a 1st down.
Patrick Shelley has been much more accurate with his passes so far in this third quarter as Darlington tries to open up the playbook a little bit. I love it. Love the change of pace here from the Darlington offense.
And I'll make a correction there. It looks like they might have been short of the 1st down by just a little bit.
Not sure what the discussion is here. They have not moved the ball. We may just have... Well, they are going to measure.
So we'll have a measurement here, and it was awfully close. So we'll see what happens.
The down marker says 3rd.
I think he got it.
Down. He's short.
No, he's short, just by a hair.
So it will be 3rd down and very short.
So the Tigers look for another 3rd down conversion here.
And just to recap, on 1st down, Patrick Shelley dropped back and took a deep shot to Thomas Speed. Speed was behind the defense. He was just overthrown on the play. On 2nd down, he went back to Speed for what was a 9 3/4 yards play, because it's just 3rd and maybe just a fraction of a yard for Darlington here. So they should be able to pick this 1st down up.
Darlington trailing this football game 7-6. That was your score when we came out of the locker room at halftime, and we are getting close to the end of the 3rd quarter. You absolutely have to figure. But Darlington will be at the line of scrimmage trying to convert here on third down with third and very, very short. And they're going to line up in their power set. They've got Allen in the backfield. They'll line up Patrick Shelley. 2 wide receiver set. And Shelley ready to take the snap here and hands it right to Allen, who muscles through, gets it, stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and hauls them down to the 30-yard line. So that was a big, powerful, hard run there by Mr. Allen.
Big third down conversion as Darlington keeps the chains moving on this drive. Harrison Allen with some more tough yards to add to his totals for the night. Pivotal drive here for Darlington. At this point with the ball on the 33, if you can pick up some yards, points are a must, I believe. They need to take the lead here, Matt, and see if they can hang on to it the rest of the way.
Patrick will line him up in the gun. Shelley 2 wide far side, 1 on the near side. Allen in the backfield. First down and 10. Ball is going to be snapped and running off to the left side. Patrick Shelley's going to run for about 8 yards before they haul him out of bounds.
We're going to get a late hit.
2 flags come in.
Yes, and warranted. He was well out of bounds when he was slung to the turf, so tackle on 15 to the end of that, and that should set up Darlington with the first down in the Heritage red zone.
So Darlington with a real opportunity here to take their first lead in a very long time in this football game. They led the game 3-0 after they scored on their first drive after the fumble from the Generals. And then the Generals would score a touchdown after a block punt and the scoop and score and a good extra point to go ahead 7-3. And then Darlington would kick a 39-yard field goal off the foot of Brinson Sumner late in the first half to trim it to a 1-point deficit, 7-6, and that's where we've been for a long time.
Yeah, and that late hit was huge, setting Darlington up. This is as close as they've been since that first quarter field goal, knocking on the door here. With, I think, Matt, they can actually pick up a first down around the 2-yard line is what it looks like.
It looks like they lined up at the 11. Shotgun, 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. They're going to pull it, and quarterback's going to throw towards a wide receiver, and he's able to hit him right in the numbers. He's brought down at the 5, and I believe it is. That was Watkins, as you mentioned, Tyler Watkins.
His first reception of the evening there.
And it's a big one.
It was.
Second down and 4 here for the Tigers.
Just a little rub route there, and Watkins is able to take the pass and move it forward. Nice gain on first down.
Ball is on the 6. To get the first down, they get it down to the 2. Allen in the backfield right behind Shelley. He's going to take the handoff, drive forward, and he is going to be in the end zone. Touchdown, Darlington Tigers on the run from Harrison Allen. And another nice play there for Darlington.
Absolutely, Matt. They cap off the drive, handing it to Allen. He's worked hard tonight. Let that guy eat around the goal line. He'll get the job done, and he puts the Tigers back on top as they currently lead this one 12-7, and it's decision time for Coach Atha. Do you go for 2 here to extend it to a 7-point lead, or do you kick the extra point?
6-yard run there for Harrison Allen to cap off a nice drive with points there for Darlington. As you just pointed out, Ian, they take the lead 12-7, and we will see what they do as far as the extra point attempt here in just a moment. It looks like Shelley's out there, so they're going to go for 2 and try to extend this lead to a 7-point lead, as you mentioned.
And when you're looking at the sheet, this is the right call here.
Shotgun formation. Shelley is rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. He is going to throw towards the end zone and connect. He gets his man, and there's a flag on the field, though. We'll see what that is all about.
It's going to be a late hit. It's going to be a late hit, absolutely.
It was Gabe Simpkins who made the grab from the pass from Shelley, so this should be 14-7.
Yes, absolutely. Great job there by Shelley. He held on to it as long as he could and found a man in the back of the end zone to extend this to a 7-point lead. Huge conversion there, and you're going to get a personal foul on the Generals there as they hit Shelley high and late. So a good call by the officials, and that'll be tacked on to the kickoff, so Sumner will be able to put this one maybe through the uprights with the leg he's got.
You are not kidding. So another big play there for the Tigers. They go up 14-7 after the pass from Shelley to Gabe Simpkins. in the back of the end zone. And again, 2-point conversion, 14-7 Darlington.
And I don't know who got hit harder, Shelley or the cameraman that he was shoved into. At least Shelley was prepared to get hit. I don't think the cameraman was quite expecting it, so let's hope he's okay. Yes, he is on his feet. So,
and if you're Heritage right now, you're looking at some of those penalties, the late hits that have really hurt them late in this quarter, and it could be a big part of the story of the game for them if Darlington ends up coming up with a win, Ian.
Absolutely, Matt. This is shaping up to be a great finish. But Darlington finally gets some momentum and finally gets a touchdown after moving the ball up and down the field all night. That has to feel good to get that monkey off their back. And the 2-point conversion was icing on the cake. They had a 12-7 lead. It was the right call because if you don't convert and Heritage scores a touchdown, you could still win with a field goal. But now you have that cushion, that safety to know if they score a touchdown that it's just going to be a tie game if they convert the PAT.
Well, the ball is going to be teed up on the Heritage 45-yard line after the penalties, as you mentioned, on the 2-point conversion. So certainly you would expect this is going to be out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Or sneaking an onside.
Here's the kick. It's going to be a long kick. And that is going to be well out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So they're going to have to go 80 yards.
No need to take a risk like that. When your defense is playing like Darlington's is tonight, there's no need to take a risk like that.
I think Coach Atha and his coaching staff have full confidence that the Tigers, after that score, have started to take control of this football game, and I don't think they're going to take any kind of risks or anything of that nature.
Absolutely not. We watched how quickly a game can turn around with that block punt, so I would expect them to play very conservatively going forward, though they did open up the playbook on that drive, Matt. You saw a lot of downfield passing, and Patrick Shelley has found his accuracy in this second half.
Well, here come the Generals out on a very important drive in this football game. Darlington's taken the lead 14-7 here in the third quarter. Rolling out to the right is Hanson, going to throw towards a wide receiver. He connects and gets a first down. That was a good play to start the series.
It's the third time they've run that play. They had a holding call the last time, but every time they've run it, it's been wide open. So I'm surprised they don't keep going back to that well. Every one of their gains over 10 yards has been that rollout pass. Just kind of a double out route, and the underneath receiver has been left wide open every time they've run it.
So Heritage in the huddle. They'll come back to the line of scrimmage with a fresh set of downs, and the ball is going to be at the 31-yard line, still on their side of the field, working right to left, now trailing Darlington for the first time in a long time. The score's 14-7. Tigers on top of the Generals. Shotgun formation, 3 wide here on the near side, 1 on the far side. McCrary in the backfield. They'll hand it to him, and he's dropped like a rock for a loss.
Yeah, nice play there by Darlington. More of the same, just playing sound up the middle. This front four has been excellent all night.
Really has been. So that's going to bring up third down, and Heritage has had to punt their first drive of this half. So they have not been able to really generate any offense. They did get a first down there on that drive. They're going to send a wide receiver split far to the far side, 3 here on the near side. McCrary in the backfield with the quarterback Hanson in the gun. Hanson getting set to take the snap. He's got it in his hands. He's dropping back, looking to throw. He's got some company. He puts it in the air. It's a dart, but the receiver cannot hang on to the football up the middle of the field, incomplete.
Yeah, Hanson did really well there, navigating the pocket, and he fired a dart in there. That time, Luke Logan could not handle the pass, or Logan Lowe, sorry. Now Heritage is set up with 3rd and long. And they've been in this position a lot tonight.
They really have been. So as you mentioned, 3rd and long. Ball is on the 30-yard line. And coming back from the sidelines is Nick Hanson with the play call. They'll go to the huddle for just a couple of moments. Now they're coming back to the line of scrimmage, sending 2 wide receivers to the far side, a couple on the near, working from right to left from the gun. McCrary in the backfield with the quarterback Hanson. Hanson taking the snap, dropping back. He is going to throw it to the near side, intercepted by Patrick Shelley, who's running down the sideline, stays up. He's got some green grass in front of him. Nice spin move, and he is in the end zone, but we have a flag on the field.
We sure do, and now we're going to have another flag thrown, so it's going to take a minute for the officials to sort this mess out. The interception will stand 100%. but we may have a hold or a block in the back of some sort on the return, and then I think there's going to be an unsportsmanlike. So the touchdown should come back if my guesswork is right here, Matt.
But worst case scenario, the Darlington Tigers, as you mentioned, Shelley picked up the interception, so they're going to have good field position again, worst case scenario.
Oh, man, and it was a bad block in the back, 15 yards behind the play. That'll drive Coach Atha crazy. Oh, you got a personal foul on. Okay, so they'll sort that out, Matt. That's why they pay the guys in stripes, right?
That's right. They're doing a good job. No question about it.
Either way, though, the touchdown, I would imagine, is negated for that block in the back. And, man, it was a good 15 yards behind the play. He would have waltzed in the end zone no matter what.
And it is at this point in the evening, Ian, that I officially wish that I would have had time to go home and get my jacket.
Yeah, it has gotten
a
little bit nippy out here.
And I'm hot-natured, but I tell you what, man,
we're sitting still.
Yeah, that's true.
That always makes it a little chillier when you're not moving around, getting the blood flowing.
Darlington football for you tonight on WLAQ. Right now, Darlington in lead, 14-7.
So they've marched off the 15 for the block in the back. Now they're marching it back an additional 15, and the ball will be placed by the ref at the 11-yard line. So interception by Patrick Shelley. He returned it for a touchdown. That touchdown was negated by a block in the back, but there was a personal foul on the Generals. So Darlington will have it 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, leading 14-7.
And we're in the third quarter, by the way. We just don't know how far into it we are, but we got to be getting really close to the end of the
It has to be almost over here. There's been a lot of running plays. There have been more stoppages here in the third quarter than we had the entire first half.
So nice interception by Patrick Shelley. It looked like for a second it might be a pick six, but instead there's a penalty, and that is going to put, again, Darlington, I believe it's on the 16-yard line as they get ready to start this drive in the red zone. And obviously, if you're Darlington, you absolutely have to come away with points with this situation.
Yeah, this is putting the dagger in right here, Matt. A touchdown here, and I just don't see any way the Generals' offense, the way that Darlington's defense is dominated, can bring them back.
Shelley from the gun with Harrison Allen in the backfield, 3 wide receiver set. They're going to hand it off to Allen, and he is going to be dropped after a pickup of, I want to say, maybe 3 or 4 yards.
Yep, looks about like a 3 or 4 yard gain to me as well. 2nd down and a long 6.
We are sitting kind of about the 30-yard line, so sometimes when you get some angles, it's kind of hard to see how much they picked up until they move the sticks.
And, you get accustomed to leaning on that scoreboard, too.
Yeah, you really actually do. But we can tell you right now, the most important part, Darlington Tigers are in the lead. We're in the third quarter. It's 14-7.
In the lead and knocking on the door to take ultimate control of this ball game.
Shelley ready to take the snap with Allen in the backfield, 3 wide set, working from left to right in the red zone. There's the snap. They're going to go back to Allen. He stays up, goes up the middle, but the defense does a pretty good job keeping him contained on that play, I thought.
I think the third quarter may be over.
Flag comes in, so we'll see what that's all about.
Or it might just be a flag.
It could be a flag.
Let's see what the call is here. Oh, it's a false start on Darlington.
So that'll back them up 5 yards. Stay tuned after tonight's action for the awarding of the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. And it's been a lot of fun so far. We've had 3 different young men for the Darlington Tigers win it. Thomas Bethel, Thomas Speed, and Patrick Shelley have all won it so far. And they're going to make it tough on us again tonight.
They are. What happens at the end of this drive could affect that outcome.
It really could. Offensive line has done a great job tonight. I definitely want to recognize those guys.
Yeah, Darlington's just been sound up front at the line of scrimmage all season, but they have really played outstanding tonight.
And Shelley in the gun waits the snap. Man goes in motion, and there is the snap. He goes to his left, and that'll be whistled dead.
And that is the quarter.
There you go.
No, it's
it's a timeout. Well, we'll take one as well. 14-7, Darlington leads this one. We're late in the third quarter. We're going to step out for 30 seconds. We'll be back. All right, we're back at Jeff Sims Field at Heritage High School. Beautiful moon tonight.
Not just that, Matt.
Yeah.
But I told you we were going to find our astrology correspondent. Well, we did. Okay, we found him, and Mars is right there above the moon.
Oh my goodness!
Can you see
look
that?
at that? That is beautiful.
Can you see that?
That is fantastic.
We got to thank David Corbin for that.
Yes, thank you, sir. Well, Darlington leads this one 14-7, and they will come back from the sidelines and resume this drive here momentarily. They've got a 2nd down and 13 coming up. The ball is going to be right inside the 20, so still in the red zone. They've got wide receiver near side, one on the far side. From the gun, they will go with Allen flanked to the left. Patrick Shelley getting ready to take the snap. It's in his hands. Quick handoff over to Allen. He's dropped down, so not a big pickup there on 2nd down.
I like the conservative play call here. I really do. It's going to be 3rd and long, but you're in Brinson Sumner's range, well within his range. And points here make it a 2-possession game. I don't care if it's 3 or 7. You always want 7, but you don't want to make any mistakes that take away an opportunity to put points on the board.
Gabe Simpkins is over on the far side. He'll come back over with his teammates. They'll huddle up real quick.
And this is the area where they have run that trick play, isn't it, Matt?
It is, so we'll see what they dial up here on this 3rd down and long from inside the red zone at the 19. Shotgun formation, Darius Smith was back in the backfield. Now he's lined up in that sniffer position. Allen is in for this set. They're going to pull it and run, and boy, they sniffed it out quick on defense.
Yeah, well defended. And that bring down Shelley for a loss. Heritage has played really good defense tonight, Matt. They have. They've bent, but they haven't broken. And that's going to bring out Sumner for another field goal attempt. This would be his 3rd if he can convert.
14-7 is your score. This would make it 17-7, and he's made field goals from 31 and 39 yards. And this particular field goal attempt is going to be a, 37-yarder.
Yeah.
So Brinson on to attempt the field goal to make it 17-7. And let's see if he can do it. It's right from the middle of the field. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, and we're going to have a whistle. And
it's good.
It is good, but there's a flag.
And it was blown dead. So if this is on Heritage, it's a dead ball foul, and even though they made it, they'll have to re-kick it. And it is. It was offsides on Heritage, moving it forward 5 yards.
Encroachment, I believe, because in high school they don't have offsides.
Yeah. So Sumner will move 5 yards further and get to kick it. He hit the top of the upright, and it went through, but he'll have to kick it through again if they want the 3 points.
So Mason McKenzie will snap it to Payne. There's the hold. The kick is on the way, and that one is going to be through the uprights, and 3 points for the Tigers. 17-7, Darlington on top, Ian.
And that makes it a 2-possession game, which just lets you breathe a sigh of relief if you're a Tigers fan. Your defense is playing excellent tonight. The only score the Generals have been able to muster came on a block punt, scoop, and score. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but the Generals have not been in Darlington territory tonight.
You know, I'd have to go back and look, but
I'm confident
may be
in that.
right. Wow.
I'm confident in that. I don't think that they've made it past their own 45-yard line.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, great defensive effort from the Tigers tonight. And the offense has gotten it rolling here. That score was set up by the Patrick Shelley interception. He returned it for a touchdown, but there was a block in the back that negated that and a personal foul that set them up at the 11. They were not able to get into the end zone, but they were able to get a very valuable 3 points to get a 10-point lead.
17-7, Tigers lead it. They'll tee it up at the 40, and we will see Brenton Sumner kick it back to the Heritage Generals. And by the way, Heritage plays in 7-4A. That's the same region as Cedartown, Central Carroll, Northwest Whitfield. That's a few really good teams.
Yeah.
Pickens, they're a little down from where they've been the last couple of years, but still a pretty decent team. Ridgeland is really having a tough time this year, as well as Southeast Whitfield. So Brenton Sumner about to put the boot on it. Kick is on the way, and that one is going to be a touchback. So that'll make them have to go 80 yards.
And the Generals, it's now or never. The third quarter that will never end continues here, right? It feels like it should be
It feels
over,
like
right?
it should be the fourth quarter, doesn't it?
It sure does. But the Generals will take over at their 20, desperately needing to mount a scoring drive to climb back into this game. They have not had any success on the ground. The only positive plays that I can recall were on quarterback runs, design draw plays, where Hanson was able to get a little bit of wiggle room. Otherwise, it has been shut down. They've hit 3 or 4 decent pass plays. Other than that, Darlington has really dominated.
Heritage is working from right to left against the Darlington Tigers defense. Hanson in the shotgun is going to hand it off to McCrary, who finds a little bit of running room on the edge and is able to pick up a few yards before being brought down by a host of Tigers.
Sideline to sideline pursuit there from the Darlington defense as they tried to get out there on the edge. Luke Lewis was the first to make contact, and then the rest of the Tigers flew in to finish up the tackle.
17-7 is your score. Darlington on top by 10. After 3 field goals from Brenton Sumner, he has just been money tonight. He's done a fantastic job. Has pinned Heritage back a couple of times inside the 10 with his punting. So.
And now.
Yeah.
It's the end of the third quarter.
That is finally the end of the third quarter. And so at the end of the third quarter, Darlington up 17-7 over the Heritage Generals. We're going to send it back for a 1-minute break here on WLAQ. We'll be back on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network. We're back at Jeff Sims Field, Heritage Stadium, home of the Generals, and we are getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter and the final frame of this football game with Darlington leading at 17-7. Heritage is going to line up with 2nd down and 5 as we've now flipped sides of the field, and they'll be working from left to right. Here's the snap to Hanson. He's going to drop back, looking to throw here on this 2nd down play. He's being chased around by Marion. A flag comes in.
Yeah, you're going to get a hold there. Marion has come free on that blind side and wreaked havoc a few times tonight. He did it again there, and Darlington defense was able to draw a holding call, so that will put the Generals behind schedule here and back them up 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20.
Well, I know part of it had to do with not really knowing where we were on the clock, not having the scoreboard lit up tonight. But, man, that third quarter just felt like it went on forever.
I mean, it's similar to last week where, you know, that first half was done in an hour, less than an hour. So that there were more passing plays, but it definitely felt like a long quarter. It's 9:30 here, 9:32.
Second down and a long way to go here for the Heritage Generals. Shotgun formation, 4 wide set. McCrary in the backfield. There's the snap. He's going to drop back into his own end zone. Talking about Hanson. He's going to throw a pass out here to the right side. It's picked up. They're going to get a pretty decent chunk of yards before he's hauled in, get a little breathing room, but great defense there by the Tigers.
Yeah, Paxton McCrary there. They tried to set up a little screen play. I like that call. Hanson delivered the ball. He had some blockers out in front, but Luke Lewis, once again, he won't get credit for that tackle, but, man, he was the one who slowed him down and allowed his teammates to come in, and he has been everywhere on defense tonight.
He's been fantastic, and, I mean, he has been all season. We call his name a lot.
One name we haven't called since he went down with the injury was DJ Johnson. Not sure what the report is there, but that young man went down in the third quarter and has not returned to action.
So third down and about 15 here for the Generals, working left to right against the Tigers. Hanson is set to take the snap with McCrary on his left. The 4 wide receiver set, dropping back to pass is the quarterback. He's got company, and he's going to get the ball out, and the receiver made the catch. That's Cade Kennery, and he was in, wasn't he? So that sets up a fourth down. Yeah, he got it at the 20. Darlington was thinking it was incomplete, but
and it has been ruled incomplete.
It is incomplete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was right there, bang, bang play on the sideline, but unable to haul it in.
That'll be fourth down from the 13-yard line, and you're going to see, obviously, Heritage have to punt this ball away with Bradley Cass standing back in their end zone. McDermott and Shelley back at around the 45-yard line to attempt to return the kick. It's going to be pretty decent air, fair catch signal by Patrick Shelley, and great field position for the Tigers.
Yeah, they start this first possession of the fourth quarter at the Generals' 45-yard line. More traditional punting style there that time. They've been going with the rugby punt, but from their own goal line. Went with the traditional punt, good hang time, no return, but Darlington will be happy to start in Generals territory here with an opportunity to score again and maybe stretch this to a 3-possession game.
We're in the fourth quarter. Darlington up 17-7 after trailing much of the game. And they've been moving the ball all night. Just had a hard time punching it in. Brenton Sumner's done a fantastic job in the kicking game. Has kicked a few field goals. And also, as we mentioned throughout the game, has punted them, pinned back inside the 10 twice. So he's certainly in the running for the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Shotgun formation. They're going to hand it off to, I believe, that was Bethel. It was, and he's going to pick up maybe 4 or 5 yards before they haul him in.
Yeah, nice little draw there to Bethel. Oh, we've got a flag, and I think things are getting a little chippy out there, and this one is going to go against the Generals. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, if I had to guess. And that'll be 15 yards. Marched off from the 40. That should set Darlington up at the 25-yard line. So,
and you've definitely seen here late in this game that Heritage has gotten frustrated with the game against Darlington, and we've seen them with a couple late hits, and then now with this particular situation. So I don't want to say they've lost their composure, but
a little bit,
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, some big penalties.
And they've been costly.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, right at the 25-yard line, Darlington will have it first down. And, man, a touchdown would put this thing in the bag. It already feels like it's in the bag, but those security points are okay, right?
Indeed,
You'll take them.
Oh, absolutely. Get a little cushion here. Darlington 2-1 on the season. Suffered their first loss of the year last week at Heard County. That was a tough game. It was a great game, actually. There's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Bethel again this time. Goes off to the right side. He'll be hauled in. Maybe got a yard or two before they pulled him to the turf.
Bethel getting a little work here in the fourth quarter. A couple of carries. First one was for about 5 yards. This one he picks up 2.5.
So second down and 8 for the Tigers with the ball on the 23-yard line in Heritage territory. They started off at the Heritage 25, got some help from the penalty. Beautiful night for football. My teeth are only chattering slightly as it's 58 degrees. Probably feels about 53.
If we both just had a light jacket, I think we'd be fine. But
David Corbin up there with a nice down jacket.
I know he looks so comfortable.
Shelley in the gun, takes a snap, is going to give to Bethel, I think, again on this play, and he goes to the right side and picks up a few yards on that play, grinding this clock out here in the fourth quarter.
That was actually Luke Overbay.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Bethel.
I did too, and maybe it was.
Well, we got screened there.
Yeah, it could have been Bethel.
So this is third down here for the Tigers, leading this one 17-7 in the fourth quarter. Third down and 5 here for the Tigers. Let's see what they'll dial up here for this next play. Going to be back home next week against King Ridge Christian, also the Tigers. That won't be confusing.
Not at all. We'll have a scoreboard, though.
Here's the snap to Shelley. He's going to hand it off, and a little bit of room. Picked up maybe 2 yards. That's going to set up a fourth down and short. Who was to carry on that one?
Yeah, it was Bethel.
Again.
Yeah. That was his series to work. Decision time, and it looks like we're going to see Brenton Sumner come out and attempt a fourth field goal. Somebody wants a Honeymoon Bakery gift card.
I tell you what, if he makes this one, we'll just go ahead and call it now. We never call it before the game's over, but the young man's earned the heck out of it.
He has.
He has worked hard tonight and has done a great job. He's been steady all night. He is so reliable. So this one is going to be of the 35-yard variety. There's the kick on the way, and it is also going to be good.
Yes,
he is money tonight. So another field goal from Mr. Sumner, and that's going to bring the score to 20-7 here in the fourth quarter. And again, we just don't know how much time's left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Darlington took their time on that possession, running the ball exclusively before the field goal attempt.
And again, you know, this is a situation where you've had a great team effort by the Darlington Tigers tonight. There are a lot of guys that could have won the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, but when you got a guy that's come out and has been asked as much as Brenton Sumner in terms of the kicking game and accounts for the bulk of your points on a night like tonight, I think he's the obvious winner.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to argue.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not going to argue with you. He's made 4 field goals, and he pinned them inside the 10 twice and swung the field the first possession of this half. He was punting from inside his own 20 and pinned them back inside their own 20. That's an impressive night.
It really is. And now we'll get it teed up from the 40, and let's see what he does here on this kickoff. Ball's in the air, be end over end. It's going to drop in at about the 12. It'll be returnable, and the young man gets a head full of steam and gets it out to about the 28, 29-yard line. So the return man on that did a really good job there for the Generals. And Ian, I think that was number 10, Caden Swope.
Yeah, nice return there. He fielded it, went north and south, and has them set up just shy of their own 30-yard line. Look, it's a 2-possession game, Matt. If you're on the Generals sideline, you're saying we're still in this thing. We need to go get a touchdown and see if we can get the ball back. The defense has played really well for them tonight. Like I've said, they'll bend, but they haven't broken. And 2 scores is absolutely in the realm of possibility here, so I don't expect them to quit.
In the gun, 4 wide set, 2 on each side. McCrary in the backfield, Hanson the quarterback for the Generals. He's going to drop back, looking to throw here on this first down play. He'll put it up in the middle of the field, connects with his wide receiver, and the receiver was Kennery, and a first down on that very first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, I think Kate Kennery was surprised he was as open as he was. He caught the ball, and it looked like he was expecting immediate impact. Instead, he was able to turn upfield and pick up some additional yardage. And that's a nice start to the drive for the Generals.
And you're right, their defense has played outstanding. We talked to you in the pregame that Darlington's been averaging 34 points a game after the first 3 games, scored 30 on a very good Heard County last week. And so you're watching this Heritage team hold them under their average as things stand right now. From the gun, Hanson ready to take the snap, 1st and 10. And he's looking to throw. He's got some company. Holds on to that one. That's a good thing because Luke Lewis is in his face.
Guess who?
Yes.
Luke Lewis. And he was assisted there by Tyler Watkins, but Luke Lewis gets the solo sack.
And then Lewis, I think I saw him look up there and say, guys, look what I've done tonight. And you guys have already pretty much awarded the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. You may want to think about that a little bit, guys.
Hey, he's played a whale of a game. The Darlington defense is pitching a shutout.
Yes.
I mean, there's 7 points on the board, but the defense didn't give those points up.
Shotgun formation, 4 wide set, 2 on each side. McCrary in the backfield. Hanson taking the snap here on 2nd and 15. He's going to swing it out to the running back, who's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 6 yards.
Great open field tackle by Tyler Watkins there.
And that was Dante Harris. Correction on that. I think I said McCrary, but it was Harris this time.
Just a little swing pass. We haven't seen that yet, so we're seeing some wrinkles in this offense from the Generals on this drive late here in the 4th quarter. I say late in the 4th quarter.
We don't know exactly how late, but it's getting late. It's 9:43.
Late in the game. It's
Yeah.
late in the game.
It's almost dinner time. We're going to have a nice snack on the way back. Ball's on the 39-yard line. This will bring up 3rd down 11 here for the Generals. Trailing this one 20-7 is your score. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 2 on the near. On the short side of the field, he's going to throw right, but we do have a flag.
You don't see that often, but it might be on the quarterback.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, they're going to call a shift. Okay. All right. All right.
I just got a question from Steve Conrad, who was the voice of the Tigers for a long time. He started doing the broadcast back in 2006, became the play-by-play guy from 2007 all the way up until this year, and moved up to be closer to family near Charlotte. So we certainly miss Steve, but he said, well, look, can you just have co-winners tonight with Brinson and of course, Luke Lewis? I don't know. I might need to consult.
Have to consult
with our friends
sponsors.
at the bakery.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Certainly would be warranted, for sure.
Is that on Darlington?
4th down and 6. 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. And Hanson takes the snap. He drops back, looking to throw, puts it in the air, connects with his wide receiver who was coming up towards the middle of the field, and a great catch by Caden Swope.
Yeah, for the first time tonight, Nick Hansen dropped back and had plenty of time to look downfield and step into that pass. Great delivery, great route. We're not out of the woods yet.
No. This is a 2-possession game, as you pointed out. It feels like Darlington has it in pocket, but after that play, if they come up with a quick score, I'm not really knowing how much there's time left in the game. This still may be a football game. 2 wide on each side, shotgun formation. Now McCrary's back in the backfield. Dropping back to pass is Hanson. He throws towards the end zone. Man breaks for the ball, and that is going to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Thomas Speed back there on the coverage, and the receiver kind of got turned around as Hanson's pass was off target. He almost readjusted and was able to make that catch in the end zone, but couldn't quite get there.
Caden Swope with a great effort there for the Generals, but that's going to be an incomplete pass, setting up a 2nd down here for the Generals.
And this is the first time they've been in Darlington territory all night, Matt, as they are sitting at the 36-yard line of the Tigers.
Lined up in the gun, Hanson with McCrary in the backfield and 4 wide receiver set. McCrary is going to line up now to his left. Hanson's going to drop back here on this 2nd down play, throw a screen pass. He's going to connect with his receiver, and he stays up, gets a 1st down and then some. They've got it close to the red zone, Ian.
The margins were thin on that screen pass, but it worked out for him. Hanson he had to loft the ball, and a good job hauling that in by number 3.
McCrary.
That was McCrary that made the play.
So that's a big play there for Heritage, trying to keep the hopes alive for them in this football game. Darlington leading at 20-7 here in the 4th quarter. Generals will come back to the line of scrimmage in the gun with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the near side, 1 on the far side, working from left to right. And we get ready for Hanson to take the snap with McCrary in the backfield. There is the pass. It's off to the right side. He's able to connect with his receiver, and the receiver on that play was Ryan Heat. And another complete pass.
Yeah. Just a simple out route there, and this is the first time all night we've seen the Generals offense really have some fluidity as far as their play calling and execution. But they're just shy of the 11-yard line here, and they've got a first down. Could pick up another one inside the 2.
So 1st and 10 from the 11. As the Generals are in the red zone, they will line up in the gun with 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation, trailing at 20-7, but looking to close the gap. Hansen set to take the snap, and here he is with the ball in his hands, going to make a move, throw towards the right side, connects with his receiver, who's pushed out of bounds, and we've got a whistle. That was Swope who caught that pass, Ian.
It was. Nice reception there. Didn't get much as far as a gain, maybe a yard. No, not even.
Not even, nope. I think it was just right back where they were. Actually lost.
They lost a yard on that pass.
Second.
Okay, all right.
Bring up 2nd down and 12 now from the 12-yard line.
Darlington's defense facing the most adversity they have all night.
Or 2nd and 11, I should say. In the gun are the Generals, 4 wide receiver set. They're going to fake the handoff, throw towards the end zone, and there was a little bit of a miscommunication there, Ian.
Without a doubt, he zigged. His receiver zagged. As Hansen's pass was, he was looking for a slant or a skinny post there, and his receiver went the other direction. So that fell harmlessly to the ground, and it'll be 3rd and 11 from the 12-yard line.
So Heritage trying to breathe a little bit of life into this game in the red zone, trying to punch some more points on the board, trailing at 20-7. We are late, I presume, here in the 4th quarter.
There's a gentleman in front of us in shorts and flip-flops, man. So maybe we're just being pansies. I don't know.
Shotgun formation, thrown towards the end zone, bobbles it, can't come up with an incomplete pass. Ball ends up on the turf.
That was almost a touchdown right there.
Was.
Really nice pass. It was bobbled and then almost caught.
Yep.
Couldn't quite haul it in. Got to go for it here. 4th down. Touchdown would make this thing interesting. If they cannot convert, that will all but do it, as Darlington would take over with a 2-possession lead and what has to be just a few minutes left on the clock.
4th down, ball on the 12-yard line. Shotgun formation, 4 wide receiver set. Hansen is the quarterback. McCrary in the backfield. They're going to throw towards the end zone, and is that intercepted? Nope, but it is an incomplete pass.
It would have been an interception, but Thomas Bethel and Patrick Shelley collided, and that knocked the ball loose. But it doesn't matter because it was 4th down, and the Tigers will take over on downs.
So a turnover on downs, as you just mentioned. Darlington's going to get the ball back with a 20-7 lead, and I wish we knew how much time was left in the clock because they may be able to just grind out the rest of the clock here on this possession.
I think you're going to see a lot of our good friend Harrison Allen down there between the tackles. I do believe both teams have their full complement of timeouts, but we do not know how much time is left. We can only guess. Has to be under 5 minutes.
It's got to be, man. I would say I don't know. Who knows? 12-yard line. We do know
that's been a fun
that's where
exercise in futility tonight, hasn't it?
It has, man. But we made it through it. Darlington in the gun. They're going to hand it off, and as you predicted, go to Allen on that play. I think pretty much anybody here could predict that. But nonetheless, they're able to get a few yards on that play. I mean, definitely did the job there. So 2nd down and 8.
We've got a timeout here. I imagine Heritage is going to start calling theirs to see if they can crawl back in this.
Well, let's call us a timeout as well. 20-7, Darlington leads it and has the ball late in the 4th quarter. We are going to step out for a 30-second break. 20-7, Darlington leads it, looking to end this game here, trying to run it and grind out the rest of this clock. Obviously, as you mentioned, Heritage using their timeouts, trying to preserve what time they can to try to have a shot in this game. And just an observation, Ian and I do our best to be as prepared as possible for these games, but one of the areas we didn't prepare well enough for this week is in terms of how to be dressed. We're over here freezing.
That's all right, Matt. You know, we're okay. I'm thinking warm thoughts.
I'll tell you a story here in a minute. You probably heard it a million times, though. Darlington in the gun. There's the snap. Rolling off to his right is going to be Patrick Shelley. He's going to run the football. Cuts back here to the inside and picks up maybe 3 or 4 yards on that play.
Heritage will burn their second timeout. They are selling out here. They need to get a third down stop. They've gone all in on this series of downs, Matt.
You want the story now? We're going to keep it here through this particular timeout. I'll tell it to you.
All right, bring it.
Back several years ago, I was doing some games for Model High School, and we were on the road for a playoff game at Union County. It was an exciting game. Model ended up winning that game. It was the first time they won a playoff game in a long time. But we were having record cold temperatures for that time of the year that took place, and obviously that's up near Blairsville. And so we were up there sort of in the mountains, elevation, that sort of thing, and it was really, really cold. And we knew that going in. We also knew we would be outside. So we dressed the part. We had on like long johns and coveralls and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's kind of hard to write when you got gloves on and things like that. But it's even harder to write when it's so cold outside that the ink in your pen freezes. And that literally happened in that game. We could not keep any notes anymore because the pens were frozen. That's probably about as cold as I've ever been calling a football game. And I can't imagine what it was like for the listeners on the other end listening to our teeth chatter for a few hours.
Was Phil Carter on that one with you?
He was on that game
right.
with me. I'm sure he's told that story a time or two as well.
Absolutely, yeah. That's tough sledding, but it's that's what high school football is all about, right?
It
It's
was
dedication.
worth it, though, man. We had a ball. We really did. And we ate some good barbecue on the way down there.
If you were with Phil, I'm sure you got some good barbecue.
We had some good cue. Patrick Shelley set to take the snap. Bethel goes in motion. They're going to fake it to the motion man, give it off up the middle to Allen. He stays up, gets a first down. That'll certainly help the cause and getting this thing in the books.
Heritage will, let's see if they're going to use that timeout or if they will just concede here. That first down should ice things.
So the Darlington Tigers up 20-7, looking to make it 3-1 for this season, with still, oddly enough, 2 more non-region games to go before we get into region play. Only 4 games on the region schedule this year because of a 5-team region. And as we've mentioned throughout the season so far, no more power rankings. And so with a 5-team region, 4 teams are going to make it. You do the math, they win 1 game, they're in the playoffs.
Nice.
Shotgun formation, 3 wide receiver set. Shelley is getting ready to take the snap here on first down. Darlington is working it from right to left from their own 35. Shelley's going to hand the football off, and they go a little bit towards the left side and pick up maybe 3 yards. Harrison Allen putting in a lot of work tonight. He's done a fantastic job.
He is, and they're just milking the clock at this point, taking their time. The official is obviously signaling when they're under a certain number on the play clock. But not having the scoreboard working certainly complicates clock management.
Yeah, it really and truly does. It's frustrating, but it's just one of those things. Everybody's just kind of rolling with it.
Deal with it. It's actually
despite.
operated quite smoothly considering that setback.
So obviously Darlington taking their time here. And Shelley will line them up. And we will have
So I think Darlington's going to take a timeout.
Yeah. We're going to take this one with them. 20-7, Darlington on top. A timeout will step out for 30 seconds on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network. Yep, we're back with you at Jeff Sims Field. We're in Ringgold, Georgia at Heritage Stadium, home of the Generals. And right now, Darlington is in control of things, up 20-7 with the ball, and really just kind of running out the clock here on the last few minutes of this football game, likely to take home a victory and get ready to play next week against King Riggs Christian Academy by the lakeside at of course, Chris Hunter Stadium. And Ian, after a couple long road trips like this, playing up against really good teams, you got to know the Tigers will be glad to be back in front of the home crowd.
Absolutely. The atmosphere should be great. And this is a different team than we saw there a few weeks ago.
Shelley takes the snap and gives it right away to Allen, picks up maybe 3 yards, setting up a 3rd down and 5 coming up here momentarily.
And when I say a different team, man, I mean they're battle-tested now.
They really are.
They had that tough loss last week and came away a better team. Tonight, Heritage just played really tough on defense, and they've had to play every phase of the game well to get this victory tonight.
Indeed, and going back to being battle-tested, that is one of the priority goals for Tommy Atha when he's putting together a schedule for those non-region games. He wants to have teams that are going to challenge his players in those games, and that way, when you get into region play, you know, you're battle-tested, you're ready to go, you know what you're made of, those sorts of things. And the goal is to get to the postseason, to get into the playoffs and have an opportunity to be ready when your time comes to get to be in some of those big matchups. And that's just a hallmark of the Darlington program. And they've been so successful. I mean, never had a losing season under Tommy Atha. The last losing season, I believe, in Darlington history dates back to 1993. They're in the playoffs every year, just an unbelievable football program. And I think the most impressive thing about it, yeah, they have some very good players on the team, but Tommy Atha and his staff, they squeeze the most out of every single player on the team. And those kids give 100% from the start of the game until the end, and it's that way every game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the buy-in is just every year you get it. Every player's out there giving everything they have, and that goes a long way, Matt.
It's fun to be around this program for sure. Shelley takes a snap. He rolls to his right. He's just going to run it, and he gets a 1st down. And, again, no clock because the scoreboard's out, but we got to be getting close to the end of this thing.
We do, and you're going to get another really bad penalty here on Heritage as they pushed Shelley as he was outside of the boundary. He had to hurdle the bench to avoid taking a pretty nasty spill. So the chippiness has gotten a little out of hand here.
Stay tuned after the game for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. As a matter of fact, since we're already after 10 o'clock, and I think we're on the same page about the player of the game, perhaps we'll just keep it here for a few minutes and kind of recap things real quick and then send it back to the studio right after the game for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. We got to give those guys their time, man. They've been waiting patiently.
I know. Last week, they didn't have much because the game ran over. So we need to get the party started.
Yes, and we also need to grab some dinner and get back to good old Rome, Georgia.
Oh, I'm not going to argue with you there, man. you're driving, buddy. So I'm just going to sit back and relax. I bet the heater works in your car too.
Yeah, we're going to crank it up as soon as we get in there. Of course, we're acting like it's 20 degrees. It's in the 50s, but
we've just gotten soft. That's all there is to
maybe
it.
a little bit.
Yeah.
We need to toughen up a little bit.
We need to get some of that Darlington buy-in here and suck it up.
Indeed. 40-yard line, that's where the Tigers are, working from right to left in General's territory here as time wanes in this football game. And this is victory formation as you have Shelley take a knee, and we will watch this game come to a close here momentarily as the Tigers on the opposite sidelines and the Tiger faithful over there in pretty big numbers tonight here on the road are getting ready to celebrate on the other side a victory here going to 3-1. And this is an impressive start because coming into the year we talked about all the seniors that, Darlington graduated from last year from this football team. And we're talking some big names and you've had some young guys step up and fill some holes this year, and they're doing a fantastic job. This is a good football team.
It is. Very impressed. They're getting better every week. And my papers have gone floppy too now.
Oh, I don't like that. There's another knee taken by Patrick Shelley, playing out the final seconds of this football game. You got to tip your cap to Heritage. They really were able to hang in this football game and make it interesting. But, you know, just being completely honest, watching this football game, Darlington is the better team, and they've played like that for most of the game.
Rome, I've got a final score from the Rome game. 22-20, Rome wins.
Oh, my goodness.
Much closer than we expected.
Yeah,
Dogfight there against South Paulding.
I didn't know what to think about South Paulding, but after some tough battles that Rome's had with some really good teams the last couple of weeks, I kind of thought they might pull away in that one, but they just eked it out. So Shelley under center getting ready to take a knee, and that is going to bring up 4th down and the
ball
end
game
of
is
the football
over.
game.
Yeah.
So that is it, folks. And the Darlington Tigers come away with a 20-7 win on the road after 2 straight weeks playing road games. Darlington comes out with this win tonight. It's a big win for the Tigers to move their record to 3-1 for the season, with 3 more games to play in the non-region schedule before you get into your region schedule, or I should say actually 2 more. You had tonight against Heritage, and you got Kings Ridge, and then you'll have Bremen. Both of those games will be at home, and then you will get ready to start your region schedule. So I think I was saying earlier they had 3 more after this, but it's actually 2 more after this, Kings Ridge and Bremen, and then they'll open up region play against Mount Perrin at home coming up on the 23rd of October. Looking for some revenge because Mount Perrin's the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So hopefully they'll be able to get that and a region win right out of the gate. That'd be a lot of fun to get to see that happen. But Ian, Darlington wins tonight 20-7, and we're going to keep it right here for a very brief post game and wrap things up as we're getting ready for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show in a few minutes. But what are your final thoughts on how the game went tonight?
Well, we had some goals for the Tigers in the pregame. They wanted to get off the field. They did. Heritage was 1 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. They didn't win the turnover battle if you balance it out with a blocked punt, but other than a blocked punt and those 2 holding calls that helped that caused stalled drives in the second quarter, Darlington played a really clean game, good fundamental football. The defense pitched a shutout. Heritage knocked on the door late, but other than that, they didn't give up many yards at all. What I like to see are those offensive adjustments at halftime. They came out in the second half, and Patrick Shelley, they cut him loose. He was a lot more accurate with the ball in that third quarter, and that helped Darlington get into scoring position. And, of course, we have to mention Brinson Sumner's night. He was great in all areas of the kicking game. He had 4 field goals, had 2 punts that were down inside the 10-yard line, swung the field on a punt on the first possession of the second half. Just an excellent game from him, but a good team win for Darlington tonight.
So we are in agreement then that tonight's Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game is Brinson Sumner. Could have been a lot of guys, but that is a really big night for a kicker. You had field goals from 30 yards, also 39. You would have one from 32, I believe, and 35. He would kick 4 field goals, as you mentioned, and the bulk of the points came from him as far as the Darlington Tigers tonight. And the punting was just awesome, and he was just spot on the entire night. And so definitely a night that the kicker is going to get the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. So congratulations to Brinson Sumner. Did a phenomenal job in helping his team, and it was a great team effort from the Tigers tonight, and they come out on top and move their record to 3-1. Big night for Darlington on the road.
Absolutely, and they'll get back after it next week. Can't wait to see them back at home.
Indeed, against Kings Ridge Christian. They are the the Tigers, I should say. And then again, you'll have Bremen the week after that, and it'll be time to open up region play. Well, that's going to put a wrap on our broadcast because I know that Lenny B and the big kahuna, Lynn Butler and Randy Davis, they're ready to roll.
Some upsets out there tonight, Matt.
Are they really?
There are some pending upsets. I can't wait. We get packed up. We should tune in and hear what they have to say.
Well, if you're watching the video right now, you're getting a last look there of the Darlington Tigers out there on the field at about the 35-yard line, jumping up and down, celebrating another hard-fought, 100% effort Tiger victory tonight on the road. Darlington wins at 20-7. And so for Ian Griffin, another great job, man. I'm really enjoying calling the games with you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, man. This is a blast.
It's been a ton of fun. And for, of course, Dave Corbin, who's handling the video now, along with Joey Johnston, who's doing a great job. That team, I mean, they're quite a pair, and they're great to travel with. It's great to be around those guys at the home games. So we're having a lot of fun with this year.
Yeah, this is great, man. Just great. Can't wait to keep after it the rest of the season and what looks to be a promising season for the Darlington Tigers.
Indeed. So with that said, for Ian Griffin, I'm Matt Davis. We're going to send it back to the studio to Lynn Butler and Randy Davis to take it away with the Rome Orthopedic Center. Darlington a winner tonight, 20-7. Have a great evening. Be safe out there, everybody. Bye-bye.